two championship caliber teams will renew their rivalry at Lane Tech Stadium in Chicago, Illinois. It's the 2014 Women's Football Alliance Championship game with two undefeated squads, the Boston Militia and the San Diego Surge. Greetings everyone, I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for joining us in our celebration of the WFA Championship weekend. Andrew Onenson, my partner, will join me in the booth. A brief but furious history between these two teams. Boston and San Diego met in the championship round 3 years ago. Boston emerged victorious. San Diego won the national championship the following year, and now these two teams see eye to eye again in the proverbial rubber match. Two strong quarterbacks anchor the offense for both teams, Allison Cahill and Melissa Gallegos. Both were in the top 5 in passer rating in the regular season. That changed a little bit in the postseason, but neither team had to work through too many obstacles. The closest scare was a 72-56 win for Boston over the DC Divas in the second round of the National Conference playoffs. But they have a strong defensive game in Nico Kokura, 8 tackles for loss in the postseason. And Whitney Zeeley had 14 rushing touchdowns in the first 3 games. Boston as a whole, 32 rushing touchdowns. San Diego's defense is one to be feared. They allowed just 18 points in the regular season. They gave up a few more in the postseason, but there was no concern about their chances for another championship game. Gallegos, a very accurate quarterback, and they have an all-around offensive threat in Deanna Guidry. Defensively, Nengi Martin is a player to watch, and she also contributes through the passing and running games. San Diego has a few more two-way starters than Boston does, but don't let that influence your thoughts on stamina. San Diego has a very versatile lineup, and remember, they won this championship 2 years ago, so they understand the energy and the investment required to hoist the cup again. Kickoff is coming up in a few minutes. This is the Women's Football Alliance Championship game.
Just talk about the season kind of in review. I know talking to some of the players really overcame so many different injuries, had a lot of different girls and women stepping up to the plate. You were able to, again, compile a pretty good record and beat a very challenging DC Divas team a few times. So kind of in review again, encapsulating the entire season. How far have you guys come to where you started?
Well, I can say this is a totally different team than what we've been having in the past, and it's a special group of girls, and we just had a meeting and we were just talking about it, and just to say how, what a scrappy team this is. And as you guys know, some of our players retired early in the season or decided not to come back to the season, and we had some younger girls that come in and step in, and they're going through some new learning curves, so to speak, and I think they've taken on a challenge. But the most important thing is I just think that they've truly bonded, tighter as a team. They gel as a team better this year than they have in the past. So we didn't have the numbers like we used to, but the 47 and the 50s. But now we got 32 kind of like quality girls that we're happy to have on this team.
Yeah, in some ways, obviously, you'd like to have more probably, but if it's 32 people completely committed to playing, it's probably better than having 50 that are kind of.
Absolutely, and that's one of the problems, and just in any kind of team sports. If you don't have that camaraderie, and if you guys don't believe in each other, then it'd be tough to win. It's just tough to win, and these girls had found out how to win, and they're doing it, and they're proving it. You don't have to be the biggest and the baddest, but you just have that little fight in you. He says to fight in the dog, so they have a good fight in them.
As a coach, what do you try to instill in your players? Maybe different lessons or kind of core values?
Just to believe in each other, believe in your techniques and and what the coaches are teaching you in practice, and just stay with it. Stay with all the concepts. I mean, once you start getting away from my concepts, it's kind of like difficult to fit into it, defensively or offensively. So I would just say that, just believing in your teammates and your concepts.
It seems like you guys are very battle-tested, and that might be even putting it lightly with the injuries, with the DC Divas, having played them 3 times, very close games, hard-fought games. It seems like you're probably ready for tomorrow's championship.
Yeah. We're ready. I mean, mentally we're ready. We've been through the mental battle. I mean, we're a little banged up, and obviously I'm sure San Diego's got some, bumps and bruises. But when you play teams like Chicago, we played them twice. They were defending champions, and we had a little success with them this year. And like you said, the DC Divas, those are one of those teams that you just don't want to see in the dark alley. I mean, they just play tough and really physical football. So, I'm just mentally, I think we're there. So now we just got to hopefully go in there and put the pain aside and go in here and perform.
Vernon, some of your players really talked about kind of the difference between you and maybe some of the upper echelon teams, at least in the East, was the coaching. What would you attribute, at least that you bring to the table, as far as making the coaching staff so well-rounded and such a disciplined team working underneath your ranks?
No, I mean, I'm proud of the guys who put the time in with me. I'm kind of like a pain in the butt. I mean, when you're passionate about something, and football is what I'm kind of like passionate about. Obviously, I played in college and a pro level. It's just you want to carry that over, and you want to keep these girls. Want them to have this success, and give them the tricks of the tools of the trade.
Once you were done with your professional football career, was it hard to, at any time, step away from the game? Is that kind of why you're still with football?
Yeah, and it was tough. I mean, obviously it's a tough decision to try to go with either college. I mean, the coach the high school kids or college kids, and when I decided to go and help out a friend of mine with the college, with the women's football, I'm like, that's something you want to do, but I don't care what level it is, female or guys or girls, whatever it is. It's just if you can be a coach, just go and coach. And if that's something that you want to do, stay there and stick with it. And I chose to stick with it, and I just like the results that these girls are giving. They have passion too, and so why not help them out just like we do with the high school kids and the college kids? So
is it a different animal in any ways, coaching women versus men?
Oh yeah. Girls always want to ask you, like, hey, why am I doing this? You got to tell them, like, why am I running through this wall? You got to talk to them that way first, but. And all in all, it's still the same. It's a sport. It has to have rules. It's got to have concepts. It's got to have discipline, and they bought into it. Our girls have bought into it, and you can see some of these other teams, these upper echelon teams, they're buying into it, and you can see the good, the football and the product that they're putting out there. And I hope these teams like Chicago and DC, continue. San Diego put those, good concepts out there, so the fans can come and enjoy some football.
You've been in this league now a few years, kind of seen how it's either changed, evolved. Maybe pinpoint some major differences today for the WFA versus 2-3 years ago.
Well, I mean, like everybody's trying to get a team in their hometown. It's kind of like tough. I mean, I really hope that, the WFA will step in and start, maybe not having two teams in one city or town, so we can kind of like, bring all the best athletes on one team and put them together, and then so the fans can enjoy, top-notch talent. But when they put the two teams in one area, it's just kind of tough. It's very rare to find a football player, and then you get a good football player in that same area. Then you got two teams that kind of like it waters down the league a little bit. But yeah. I think that's something that's going to probably get better. I think the owners and the coaches are coming to the WFA, bringing up some ideas on how to strengthen the league, and hopefully they'll listen and take heed to that.
Is that some of the stuff you were talking about at the owners' meeting?
Yeah, yes. We wanted to try to just get more recruiting, and try to get some more good coaching in there so the girls can take that leap. Leap of faith and say, listen, if that's something that I want to do, and you got good quality coaches, that'd be something that they might want to take advantage of. So hopefully they'll do that.
Sure. Going back to the game tomorrow, I'm sure, just at least from my experiences, kind of the anticipation around this game, it's almost as if everyone wants to just play the game right now. You get settled in, you've got all that high energy. It'd be almost better to play right now. How hard is it to temper kind of the excitement to keep them focused enough till tomorrow at 5?
Well, it is tough. I mean, obviously everybody wants to kind of like, let's just get it on, and hey, it comes with the territory, and hopefully, both teams can go out there and put on a good show. We kind of like, we just want the fans to understand, like, you want them to see some good football. I think San Diego's going to, they got quality football players and a quality coaching staff, so they can go out there and put on a good show for the fans, and then everybody starts seeing a competitive football game. I think the WFA is like in a winning position here, so hopefully we'll get that going.
Reflecting back on the season, how it's gone for you guys and getting to this point.
I think it's been good. I think that we have we had some games in the beginning that sort of, I think, put us in our place because we played teams that maybe weren't to our caliber, but showed us that we still needed a lot of work and that we had to grow to get to the point that we're at now. I think it's been, like everybody else has said, it's been a real growing experience for our team. I think that our rookies have stepped up a lot, and they learned a lot from those early games. They saw that you can win by a blowout and still have it be an ugly game. Still have a ton to work on at practice, that just because you roll over a team doesn't mean you did anything right. So I think it was a good season for us, and I think it taught us a lot, and it got us to this point.
With your coaching experience and also player experience as well, what kind of, just additional kind of contributions do you feel like you can make to either help the coaching staff, help the rookies, help the veterans as well?
I try when I'm at practice to not be a coach because I'm a player. But I think because I coach, I think it helps my game because I understand nuances of football. I understand about scheme. So some players come out and they say, oh, this is the play I'm running, this is what I'm going to do. And I understand why we have certain blocking schemes, what certain route combinations do, what certain defenses are going to do to attack that offense. So sometimes I'll see something in practice and I'll say, hey, coach, on the side, this is what I see. This is how they could beat that. Like, do we want to look at this a little more? Sometimes they can come back and say, oh, well, I've already thought about that in X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I didn't think about that. And other times, they're like, oh, okay, great, you brought something new to my attention. So I think it's good, but I definitely, at practice, try not to be a coach. I mean, if I see players doing something that coaches have gone over, I'll kind of point it out to them, but I'm not a coach. I'm a player, and that's how I like it.
What sort of the obstacles, you'd say, the biggest obstacles that your team has faced this year?
Numbers. I mean, I'm sure, 90 other, women's football players can say the same thing about their teams. Just having everybody at practice, having roster size. In 2012, we had a roster that was close to 60, and we're under 40 this year. So it's meant that a lot of players play both sides of the ball at times. It's meant that a lot more players have to be on special teams, and I think it can be really good for your team because everybody is working together in all phases of the game. So, I attribute that to our successes, is that there's not an offense and a defense. There's the surge. And everybody knows a position on offense and defense. Everybody knows something on special teams. And it's helped us really work together as a unit.
As far as the numbers, do you know why maybe the numbers are down compared to 2012? Is it because the league expands?
I mean, it might be partially due to the league expansion. At the same time, the LA team folded, and so we got a bunch of their players. I think that in San Diego, after the 2012, we had a bunch of players retire. And so there's sometimes a lull in getting those rookies back in there. I think that, next year and the year after, we're going to be back up to the numbers that we had. It's been 2 years since that championship, and when you lose 10 to 15 veterans who've been playing for a decade, you're not going to replace them instantly, because in women's football, you get 5, 6 new players a season. When you lose 15 to 20, you're not going to replace that instantly. So we got new players last year, we got new players this year, and we're just going to keep building. I think we'll get back to where we were, so I'm not worried about it.
You've played football, women's football in the independent league, now in the WFA, quite a few years. What have been your observations about the sport in general?
Women's football is growing. You're getting better athletes, you're getting better coaches. I mean, it used to be Pop Warner coaches and somebody stepping off their couch saying, I'm going to play football. And now you get collegiate and semi-pro athletes, you get former NFL players wanting to coach, you get high-level college and high school coaches wanting to coach, and it's improved our game. I think it's raised the standards and the levels of women's football up. You can't come in thinking, this is just going to be fun. You have to come in wanting to compete, wanting to earn something. That's what coaches expect these days. And so I think it's really helping our sport. I think that having a unified league overall is what's going to take us to the next level, and it's what's going to make us, the women's NFL or, the WNBA. And so until that point, I think we still have some diluted teams and some diluted pools, But overall, women's football is getting a lot better.
Dialing back into the matchup tomorrow, Boston Militia. Again, anyone who's around the game knows that they're obviously a very talented team, just as you guys are.
Yeah.
What will be kind of the keys or ingredients to success for you? And is there any different strategies kind of going off the coaching experience that you guys might take versus them compared to a team you played already this season?
I think Coach Harris has done a great job this year that each game up is the most important. So at our practice on Wednesday, he said we have the most important game of our lives coming up. And the only reason it's the most important is because it's the next one up. And I think that that's huge for our team because this game, it's a championship game and it's exciting and you want to be part of this, but it's another football game. And if you let it be bigger than a football game, you get in your own head. I think that the keys to this game are, like Coach said and like Guidry said, execution and everybody doing their specific job and trusting that their teammates will do their job as well. If I go out and I try and, block that person and make that tackle, and I'm going to miss somewhere and, they're going to score a touchdown. If I go in and I hit that fullback as hard as I can and I know my teammates are coming to make that tackle, we're good. And that's been one of our keys to success is we trust each other, we all do our job, we rally to the football, and we try and beat people up.
Your teammates, friends, coaches seem to say you're always amped up. Is there ever time you need to tone it down because you're too amped?
Today, so that I don't burn too much energy for tomorrow. Just being around football, I get to practice and I just I can't help it. I love it. It's just it just gives me energy. Being around my teammates gives me energy. It's football. How can you not be excited? So sometimes I have to tone it down just so that I don't wear myself out. But other than that, I've got plenty of energy to spare. I'm good.
It's got to be a good energy boost for everyone else, right?
Yeah, I hope so. A lot sometimes, but it's good. It's fun. I'm ready to go. I've learned the people not to headbutt and not to bounce too close to because they're like ninja. I'm like, okay, I'll go over there. But other than that, that's just sort of who I am. And when you're my teammate, you sort of realize that early on.
And we welcome all of you watching on Perfect Storm Broadcasting in our live webcast. And if you want a DVD copy of this game, just go to WFAfootball.net. They will have the information, and we will have a full broadcast version complete with player interviews, profiles, and all of that fancy stuff. We're just about to get underway. Boston will get the kickoff to start the 2014 WFA Championship. They're wearing the red, San Diego wearing the gray, and we are underway. The kick will go to number 10 for Boston, Adrian Smith, and we may have a fumble. Boston does recover. So let's take a look at the Boston offense. Starting quarterback, Allison Cahill. The running back, Stacy Tiamfolk and Whitney Zeeley. The wide receivers, Adrian Smith and Catherine Tylander. Emily Weinberg is the tight end. The offensive line, Amanda Alpert, Shayna Seegers, Kahinda Ashodi, Stephanie Jeffers, and Charisse Woodfine. First and 10 from the 33-yard line. We play NCAA rules, so you only need 1 foot to get the ball inbounds and have possession. No 2-minute warning, and the clock stops to move the chains on every first down. Allison Cahill, very accurate. Her postseason numbers dropped off a bit, but her services in the air were not needed, and that was one reason. Whitney Zeeley, who cuts to the left and breaks, but fumbles the ball. I think Boston, do they fall on it? It's still live.
Looks like Boston.
Boston did recover, but that negates their gain. A scary opening to the 2014 championship here in Chicago.
Could be jitters, of the big game, who knows, but Boston is led by head coach Derek Beasley. He's a former NFL star. I remember that. Remember his name. He played for the Patriots amongst some other teams, and
no surprise that he's coaching Boston then. Second and 9. We'll get the San Diego defense here in a moment. Player in motion. That's Tylander. But it's a pitch to Zeeley, and Zeeley with plenty of space gets to the 45, stopped at the 47-yard line, and that will be enough to move the chains.
That was really good offensive line play right there. They got to the second level. and blew up the backer. Nice hole running right up the two gap.
We mentioned Zealy, 14 rushing touchdowns in the postseason, 752 yards, averaging 12 yards a carry in the regular season. Zealy just averaged 162 yards rushing, but again, Boston and San Diego went relatively unchallenged in the regular season, so they did not have to play too many possessions. Boston also had 2 forfeits against one a non-league opponent and one against Central Maryland, so that affected the stats. Fresh set of downs. Zealy again on the handoff. She's at midfield, turns the corner to the 35, the 30, and she's taken out of bounds at the 28-yard line. 19-yard gain and another first down for Boston.
And you can see the Militia have a clear game plan. They want to pound that ball, led by Zealy. She returned from week 1. She had a broken ankle, and she looks like she's coming on strong as the season wears on in the playoffs. She's not slowing down.
Well, that explained her low rushing total in the regular season, but it's the postseason that matters, as you are well aware of. First and 10 from the 28. Boston dominated San Diego in the meeting 3 years ago. And the handoff to number 14, Stacey Tiamfolk, goes nowhere. Here's the San Diego starting defense. The defensive line, Chambers, Alexis Morin, and Holly Peterson. They run 5 linebackers, a 30 stack, Lauren Davis, Nengi Martin, Tiffany Humphrey, Cassia Williams, and Natasha Johnson are your linebackers. Ashley Moody is the safety. Deanna Guidry and Somfrey Robertson are your corners.
Looks like we got an injured player down for the Militia.
And while we have this injury timeout, we want to remind you that if you wish to send us your notes, that's number 64 on Boston, Shayna Seegers. She comes from Albany, New York, attended Albany Medical College. You can send us an email. Just click the email link at the bottom of the PSB screen, and we will happily read your emails throughout the game. You can also send me a tweet at @TheSportsBrain. The word the, THESPORTS, sports, and brain, BRAIN, all one word, no underscores, no spaces, and we will happily read your tweets on the air. Second and 10, no gain on that last play. Split back formation, and it goes to number 14, Tiamfolk again, and she goes to the 16-yard line. Actually, spot her at the 15.
And she also had a very good postseason stats.
That will move her 13 yards and another first down for Boston.
The Surge is led by Nengi Martin. She's actually believed to be the only football women's head coach in the state of California. That's a very big accomplishment for her. So she can do it all. She can play, she can coach.
But right now, it's Boston who is surging on the ground game. Here's Zealy as she draws right. And she's just punching through tackles, doesn't gain much, but look at her just stuff the defenders. She gave one a shoulder, and she's slow to get up on San Diego. That looks like Roberson took a nasty hit from the stiff arm or the stiff shoulder of Zealy.
That was a big hit collision. This Zealy, she kind of reminds me of the running back we got down up in Minnesota. She runs with anger.
That would be Adrian Peterson, and Somfrey Roberson is the player who is down. Whitney Zealy from Roxbury, Massachusetts, attended Holy Cross College. I have a friend who also hailed from Roxbury and played for the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers team. Women's basketball, though. So we have a stoppage in play with 12:48, and you had a chance to watch these teams during pregame warm-ups, Andrew. What did you see from the two?
Teams that look like they're very technical sound. That's how you got to conduct yourself at a championship level. You know, you're doing in practice.
Second and long for the Militia.
As cliche as that sounds, if you get it done on football, you're going to get it done in game time. And they're going to look to emphasize the run as they have been doing all postseason. They have a really big attack. 32 rushing touchdowns so far in the postseason.
Second and 10, no gain on that last play by Zealy. We have flag. It could be illegal motion or illegal formation. No gain on the play, but we'll check the marker.
Flags on play.
It's our first penalty of the championship. And it's offside on number 63, Jessica Cable. So it's going to make 2nd and 10, 2nd and 5 after the San Diego penalty.
And you hate to do that in the red zone. That's a very costly penalty.
That'll make it 2nd and about 5 for the Militia.
Lane Tech Stadium, home to one of the most prestigious academic programs, right behind Whitney Young. Lane Tech, a preparatory school here in the north side of Chicago. We're about 2 miles from Wrigley Field. Shotgun formation for Cahill, and she's going to do a direct draw to Zealy, and she gets to the 7-yard line. Gain of 3 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and 2.
Number 181,
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, they really are, emphasizing their run. I think every play's been a run so far. They had a clear game plan coming into this game, where the surge defensive line, front line down the front 4.
Boston and San Diego, a balance between run and pass, but Boston has been run heavy throughout the postseason, and a botched snap, botched handoff. Zealy falls on it, but now Boston faces 4th down. They'll likely go for it, although they are within range to attempt a field goal.
And they do have a good field goal pre-game. She was hitting them out 35, 40 yards with ease. She's got a very strong leg.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. Number 22, Emily Holland. She's from Tufts University, 5'4", 135 pounds, from Woburn, Massachusetts, will attempt a field goal of 29 yards. Kick is low and wide left. No score. San Diego escapes.
Some big possession turn of events right there. You march down the field with ease, and you want to come out with some kind of points. Biggest game of the year, some of their lives, and they come out with no points. It's kind of disheartening, but see if the defense can get them back on track.
We have a couple of tweets telling us to zoom out. I presume one of our cameras is up a little too tight. We'll get that situated. But we also have Tina Pitora cheering on the Boston Militia in Brighton on live stream. Special shout out to Weenie, Ty, and Vicky Eddy. So we're already getting a response on Twitter. Well, Boston was hoping to zoom out to the end zone, and instead they get nothing. So we'll get our first look at the San Diego offense, led by Melissa Gallegos. And we'll start with a running play. Can't quite read the number. The light blue on gray is a little tough to read. But the carry goes to the 10-yard line. Let's take a look at the San Diego offense. Gallegos is the quarterback. Jordan Sablin and Deanna Guidry are the running backs. Lanika Manning, Holly Peterson, the wide receivers. Nengi Martin, the tight end. The offensive line, Kim Henry, Jennifer White, Katrina Walter, Jessica Cable, and Ebony Chambers. As we mentioned in the open, San Diego has a few two-way starters, but those players can play a full quarter game. Another handoff, and pushing the pile forward to about the 15-yard line. That's a gain of 4.
I know that run might not look pretty, but 4 yards on a run is usually, that's a good run, because that's what you really want. You don't want less than 4. 4 is like the mark of an average run, and you keep doing that, you're going to pound the defense down. And
3rd and 7.
3rd and 7 for San Diego.
8:40 left in the first.
Wide splits look like they're only rushing 3.
And Boston doesn't send too many players up on the line. Gallegos threw a dangerous route, almost picked off. The closest receiver was Nengi Martin. And 3 and out for the Surge.
She had her open. She just overthrew it a little bit. Both offenses coming out maybe with a little jitter. They needed just to settle down and get in their modes here, and I'm sure they'll be right on track where they expect to be in this high-level competition game.
2 players back to receive the punt from San Diego. And this isn't something either team is used to. They're used to running over their opponents, and you saw with that low snap, punt is away and clean and fielded at the 45-yard line. Plenty of room to run, but it wraps up quickly. The hole was closed, and getting about a 9-yard return, we'll try to get a number, was number 14, Stacy Tiamfolk.
Yeah, San Diego had 4 punts all year.
In the regular season.
So you can say that's pretty efficient offense.
And San Diego, in the regular season, among their victories, they won all of their games, but the craziest result was a 99-0 win over the Arizona Assassins. 99 points.
It's a lot of touchdowns.
That's a video game score. Fake handoff, and the pass is complete to Tiamfolk. She gets to the 30-yard line, has plenty of space, breaking tackles, and saving the touchdown was number 16 for San Diego, Ashley Moody, but Tiamfolk gets the ball to the 18-yard line, a gain of 17.
These militia women are tough to bring down. I tell you what, they take a couple tackles, they break through arm tackles. You're gonna have to wrap them up and explode on them to take them down. They're not going down with just a little dinky arm tackle.
1st and 10, Boston back in the red zone. And it's Zealy who breaks through the hole, trying to get to the goal line, cannot do so, but nothing is getting in the way of Boston's running game. That was a 15-yard gain for Zealy.
Yeah, that was a weird form. You got trips right, shotgun, and you run it up the gut for 15 yards. I mean, you don't really see that coming. I mean, they're so efficient on offense right now.
Split backs. And it's Tiamfolk who has it. We have a flag on the play, though. No gain on the play, but we have a penalty flag to assess. 1 penalty so far. Illegal formation on Boston. That will push them back 5.
But this ground game is working very well. You got the Surge. A lot of their players got their hands on their hips already. I know they play out west where they're used to the hot weather and the conditioning, but
Boston has no two-way starters. San Diego has several, and that could be a factor.
Oh yeah, very much so.
But the 2nd and goal is pushed back to the 8-yard line instead of the 3 after the illegal formation penalty. Actually, it's 1st and 8. They accepted the penalty, so the down is replayed. Split backs again. Zealy to the right, Tiamfolk to the left. It's a fake handoff to Zealy, and Cahill will run it in for the touchdown. She had 12 touchdowns in the postseason entering this game, and you can chalk up number 13 as Boston strikes first.
Great run, give them 6. I'm wondering if that was like if she read that herself. If the crack's back, then I'm gonna take it. If she leaves, then I'm gonna give it. I'm wondering if that was an option play or was that a design call. If it was an option, she read it perfectly.
Certainly a great design for Boston. I think they'll keep that in the design book. The extra point attempt is good. With 7 minutes and 1 second left in the first quarter, Boston is up 7-0, and if San Diego doesn't find a way to contain the running game, this could be a long day. Whitney Cahill with the touchdown. Allison Cahill I'm getting all these names and now we're starting to jumble together. Allison Cahill from Uxbridge, Massachusetts, attended Princeton University. I know what I'm talking about. Issa Gail Levy says, good luck to the Boston Militia. We are all rooting for you on Twitter.
Yeah, Boston, they have a huge fan base back east. I know they're one of the great teams in this organization. They represent it very well.
More on that in a moment. Let's thank our league sponsors: Team Rebel Sports, SG Helmets, the Women's Sports Foundation, Bolt Athletics, Impact Custom Mouthguards, Brain Sentry, and USA Football Organization. And it's no secret Boston's loyalty to their athletic programs. The Patriots, the Bruins, the Red Sox. The Celtics have dropped off a bit, but
yeah,
there's not much that gets in the way of Boston and their sports.
And you gotta love that. They're a sports town. You gotta love that. Boston's strong.
And so is Chicago. There's actually a rivalry between the two. The kick goes out of bounds, so San Diego will start their next series at the 40-yard line.
And you hate to do that. You get a dominating drive, you score a touchdown, and then you boot the ball, you give them a free 40-yard line.
Well, let's get to the Boston defense, since I haven't addressed them yet. The starting defense. Not much of a defensive line. Nikita Bowman and Tommy Gibson are players to watch there. They run 5 linebackers, probably one up at the line. Noriko Kokura, she goes by Nico, and she's been great. Erin Diet, Charlene Casey, Vicky Eddy, and Deirdre Hjort. Secondary: Mocha Torres, Brianna Gallo, and Jennifer Oliveri. And don't forget, you can also email us. Just click the email link on the PSB screen and they will be forwarded to us here in the broadcast booth. 1st and 10 from San Diego at the 40-yard line. Quick screen pass is complete, and this will be first down gain almost. They will spot her at midfield. That should be enough. Making the reception is Casey Clark of San Diego.
That was a very good first down play. You can't ask for much more. Just give it, dump it out to your receiver, see if they can make a play, and they absolutely did.
Casey Clark, 26.4 yards per catch, just had 5 catches in the postseason, but 132 yards and a touchdown entering this game. So we'll have 1st and 10 again at midfield, and player in motion. We do use a play clock. You can't see it on the screen. Another player in motion, and it's a handoff to number 80, Lanika Manning, and Manning fumbles the ball. Boston's on it. And they get the fumble recovery.
Huge turnover. That left D end, I don't got a name on her, but she blew up the whole play.
Tough to tell from the vantage point we have, but this is shaping up to be a Boston rout.
Yeah, it looked like she got an arm on the ball when she was trying to bring her down for the tackle. Maybe she got her arm, with the ball. The ball was on the wrong side to begin with. You always want to have the ball on the outside shoulder where you're running. She had it on the inside, and that's easy to cause a turnover.
So Boston on the fumble recovery will get 1st and 10 from the 49. And Whitney Zeeley and Allison Cahill have already been ferocious. Cahill opts to throw, complete to Tam Folk. Folk breaks through. See you later. Touchdown, Boston. 49-yard connection from Cahill to Tam Folk.
That run fake got them. They thought they were going to run, no problem. Wide open seam down the middle. Give them 6. What a play by Boston. They're imposing their will right now.
Stacy T.M. Folk from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, graduated from Cornell, the Ivy League school.
The Big Red.
T.M. Folk had 6 rushing touchdowns in the postseason. This is her first passing touchdown. Or I should say receiving touchdown. She didn't pass it, but I don't think she cares. Extra point is pure. Boston gets 7 off the turnover. 5:48 left in the first quarter. They lead 14-0. And we have our first email. Let's go Surge, and if San Diego's fans are watching, I think they're going to be sending all of their vibes they can right now because San Diego is rattled and in big trouble.
Yeah, they need an answer right here. They need a very good drive. Even if you don't score, you just need some kind of something to go in your way. It's not going their way right now. You know, Boston believe that they're the superior team. They are clearly showing it right now in the first quarter. They still got a lot of football to play, though.
Kick is off and botched. It is picked up by San Diego. Boston could have recovered if they got there, and now a flag comes in. May have been a face mask.
Face mask, yeah, I think it was a face mask. Just one of those. I hate to do that. It was not, it wasn't on purpose, but that happens when you're trying to tackle the ball, handle it, you're going full speed, they're going.
And instead, you get face mask.
I could have been a disaster with the botched snap.
But instead, San Diego gets a free 15 yards. It was a mishandled catch on the kick, and as you noted, Boston could have picked it up as long as the ball goes past 10 yards, and I remember this because I was fooled by such a play 3 years ago with the Minnesota Machine against the Wisconsin Wolves. Daniel Thompson kicked and kind of hit no man's land or no woman's land. Wisconsin was not aware of the kickoff rules, so Thompson fell on her own kick.
And recovered it.
And it was picked up by Minnesota, yes. That was a game they needed to win to clinch the division title and playoff berth, and they did so in a big way. Tougher times for Minnesota in the last few years, but hopefully they can rebound. Right now, San Diego looking to rebound. Running single back formation. Martin in motion. And a handoff to the running back. She will pick up about 5 yards. That was number 23, Alexis Snyder on the carry.
That was a very good play call by San Diego. They seen that they just had 3 women in the box, no blitz. So you're going to take what the defense gives you. That was a very good play call by them. 5 yards. It's a great first down play.
Another tweet coming in from Julia Jaff saying, "Here we go, Boston Militia." Might be an understatement. 2nd and 6, 4-yard gain on the play. Guidry in motion, single back to the right. Pitch to Guidry, and she fumbles the pitch. Boston is going to fall on it, and another fumble recovery. Let's get a number if we can. That's number 18 for the Militia. Nico Kokura from Revere, Massachusetts. Nico Kokura, Boston hailed her as their best defensive player, and she showed that in the postseason.
She is blowing up the line of scrimmage. That is the second time that happened. She totally blew the right tackle back into the 2-3 yards behind the line, and Guidry couldn't even handle the ball right. She was running into her lineman before she could even turn and get the ball.
She had 8 tackles for loss in the postseason. In the regular season, not as many, but again, her services not needed as heavily. Just 17 tackles in the regular season, 16 in the post. Here's Tam Folk, who scored the last touchdown for Boston, and she has plenty of space on the right side. She's almost through, and she's tackled from behind, stopping another touchdown, but she's at the 17, a gain of 23 yards for Tam Folk.
You got their receivers, they're key right now because they're blocking the outside so they can hit the sideline with ease. You gotta love that, seeing that from a team. The receivers just not catching, but they're blocking, and that's what football is about. It's a team sport. It's not about one player, and they're just imposing their will right now. Wrong for the Boston Militia right now.
And San Diego's going to call a timeout to figure out what is happening. This is a strong program. Remember, they were champions 2 years ago, 4:42 left in the first quarter. And we have a couple more messages we want to relay to our fans. We have Tammy Krisman, who was giving us a shout out from the Seattle Majestics earlier. Once more, if you want a DVD of this, you can get more information at WFAfootball.net, and I have a feeling there will be a few Boston fans who will want copies of this game. They were champions 3 years ago.
And that ring again, boy.
As I mentioned in the open, it's the proverbial rubber match between these two. They both have a championship among them in the last 3 seasons.
And that's rare to see that both, such dominant teams have come together, and they're both been dominant in recent years. And they're showing it tonight. Boston Militia have 7 first All-American teamers, and they're showing why they are that exactly.
Well, rematches aren't all that uncommon. Don't forget that rivalry between the Patriots and the Giants. 1st and 10 from the 17. It's Zealy who has the ball as she's looking to turn the corner on the left. No, she's going to roll through the hole instead. Touchdown, Boston. Zealy.
Give them 6.
With their 15th rushing touchdown of the season.
She runs through arm tackles, I tell you. She is a beast.
They raised them tough in Roxbury.
I suppose so. This Boston team has come up with a point of emphasis, and they are surely showing it.
So 2 touchdowns off 2 turnovers, and I say they raised them tough in Roxbury because the person I was referencing was Crystal Flint. Graduated from Roxbury, or I should say from that area. Came to the Minnesota Golden Gophers program, got to an NCAA tournament. And I don't know if she's watching this, but if the athletes are as tough as I've seen out of Zealy and from Crystal Flint back in her early days, I do not want to mess around with those folks. Extra point is pure once more. 4:32 left in the first quarter. Boston leads 21-0.
This is a beautiful day for a game. The crowd is turning out. I couldn't ask for much better temperature. It's perfect temperature playing football. Whether you don't want to see rain, maybe factor into deciding a championship game. So this is perfect.
Not to mention the common housefly.
Yeah.
Do you think the depth between the two teams is having an impact, with Boston having single players for every position and San Diego having to do a few dual slots?
Very much so, especially with these quick turnovers. It's really causing a problem for the San Diego Surge. They're going to have to find an answer. They're going to have to find it quick because the Militia are not slowing down one bit.
Well, a couple of tweets have come in. Tina Pator says, loving how this Boston Militia team is looking so far. They go back on defense, but they've been strong there. San Diego looking to find a hole through midfield, and San Diego will start in enemy territory. No flag, so a strong return for the Surge, and that was badly needed for their morale.
Very much so. She found a little seam, a little crack, and hit that. She can really fly up, you really see her. Lost in the middle. Next thing you know, in the end zone for 6. So very good play for the Surge. They much needed that very badly.
They will start their next series at the 47-yard line. Julia Jaff says, I'll take a copy. We'll go to WFAfootball.net and we will get you a copy, and we can get you a copy for all your friends too. It's been a great first quarter for trips to the left for the Surge. 3-step drop for Gallegos. Going deep. Complete. To the 10-yard line. 37-yard catch. KC with the reception.
That was a perfect throw in stride. That's what you want out of your quarterback. Give your receiver a very good chance to catch the ball. I say Diego. 1st and 10, ball inside the red zone.
1st and 10, 1st and goal, technically speaking.
Oh, they're in the 10? Okay.
They're at the 10,
okay,
yes.
So it is goal.
But this is the first time San Diego has entered the red zone. And after they've been getting ripped apart by Boston's running game, let's see if San Diego can counter. Because we know they have a very prolific offense. Guidry, quick drop, pass bobbled, incomplete. Guidry, the intended receiver, and a late flag.
They think they looked pretty good timing on the Boston cornerback. They probably say she got there early.
We have a lot of Boston fans chiming in on Twitter. Issa Gail Levy says San Diego ain't got nothing.
Yep.
I predict a complete blowout.
Pass interference. I thought she got there right on time.
It may have been the timing, and of course we are far away, so there may have been some contact if they went up at the helmet, went to a no-no. If that happened, they were going to call pass interference even if the timing is down.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 they will.
So that moves the ball 5 yards, and it remains first down. First and goal. Four receivers for the Surge. Hand off to Guidry. No, that's number 23. Trying to break a few tackles and can't do it. It will be second and goal. That was Alexis Snyder on the carry.
Brought down by number 36, Casey.
I don't know if Boston's line is throwing them off, but they've been running just one down line. They got like 3-4 stand-up people rushing the passer. That's a little difficult to estimate. Like where are they going to go? They're going to hit my outside shoulder. They're going to crack back. They're going to pull a stunt. So that could be playing a big-time role in this line play.
1 yard gain on the play. Second and goal. They're overloading the left side. Guidry in motion. Fake handoff. Gallegos throws, and it was almost picked off. Number 25 for Boston, not aware of it, Oliveri, and then her hands go to her head. She felt she should have picked up on that, but San Diego almost shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, she was playing the quarterback there, but that was still a very good play. If she turns around and looks at the quarterback, that could, easily be an interception, and that would have been huge.
Already 2 turnovers on the Surge, and it's third and goal from the 4. Single back formation this time. Looks like Sablin. And you'll see a lot of that with Boston not sending too many up on the defensive line. Gallegos looking to go right, and miscommunication. Fourth and goal. San Diego. It appears they will go for it.
Yeah, she felt footsteps coming from the left side. Aaron Diet. She came free. No one put a hat on her, and when that's going to happen, you're going to get a free shot. And the quarterback probably heard footsteps and saying, "I got to get this ball out."
We have a few more messages we'll read when we get a moment, but a critical play for San Diego, both for the score and their morale. You feel they have to convert on this.
And this is a big psyche play right here.
They got Snyder lined up behind Gallegos. Trips right, one to the left. Gallegos on the handoff. And she breaks a tackle and runs in for the score. Alexis Snyder runs it in.
They looked like they had that play sniffed out, but she just managed to break a tackle and rumble her way in. Nobody really wanted to tackle her.
Her third rushing touchdown of the postseason. And in the regular season, Snyder, 7.5 yards a carry, 269 yards, 5 touchdowns. So Guidry gets a lot of attention, and so does Jordan Sablin, but Snyder coming up big there.
Yeah, that's one time where a player beats the play call, because that was a great play call to stop the play.
Extra point is good. And San Diego gets one back. 2 minutes, 33 seconds left in the first quarter. 21-7 is our score. And since we have a stoppage in play, let's catch up on our social media following. The Daytona Breakers are having a viewing party in Daytona Beach. Tina Pator I keep listening for you to read my tweets, but my friends are so loud watching this game that I can't hear you. Give me some love. I will send you some love through my voice. That's the best I can do. Julia Jaff wants to give a shout out to number 85 and 15, Emily Weinberg and Catherine Tylander. Hashtag Kingpins. I hope some San Diego fans are watching, and if they are, we would love to hear from you. Send us a tweet at @TheSportsBrain, and we will read your tweets on the air. And you can also send us an email to the PSB page.
And that was a huge touchdown for the Surge. They're only down 2 scores. Psyche is, hey, we can hang in here with these guys. You know, they're not going to run us out the water. And you got to love that response from these guys, from these women, should I say. See if they can respond with the defensive stop.
I'm impressed that Daytona's having a viewing party even though they're not involved in this game. They just really love the sport that much. And that's going to be a flag. So Boston will start at the 40-yard line, and you saw Adrian Smith hold off because had she touched it, the penalty would not be enforced.
Yeah, it was a very heads-up play by her. She recognized that it was going to go out of bounds, and let me take the free 40.
So with San Diego on the board, how does Boston respond? They're used to this somewhat. They had that 72-56 shootout with DC, but in the conference championship in the national side, they beat Chicago, the host team, 63-14. So a little bit of adversity here. As we get some ice
they've
cold
been
water.
marching down the field with at ease. I would just stick to the game plan, run. You're going to sooner or later tire out these guys where they don't even want to come up to the line of scrimmage. And they will be, that's what's been happening so far, where they just, they haven't been stopped so far on offense of yet. So.
And I want to thank the Chicago Force for giving us some ice cold water for this game. And instead of taking the ball at the 40, Boston elects to have San Diego re-kick. And we know in special teams plays how much influence having to re-kick can have. You use up all that energy the first go at it. Let's see what happens.
Now, special teams is a huge part of the game. It's really become a huge part in the last, I'd say, 10, 15 years of the NFL, and I'm sure it is a very big part of women's as well.
This was a deep kick. And number 44 has to backtrack, I should say, though. That's TM folk. She's shifting around. Look at her. Evade tackles, gets to the 31-yard line, so Boston would have been better served by taking the penalty, but with their running game, I don't think a few extra yards is going to dampen their spirit.
No, not at all. They're looking to pound the ball. They have a point of, and they've been imposing their will on the defensive line of the Surge.
A few more tweets coming our way. Adam Griggs saying, boys are over watching online for the game. If you want to win, put Robinson in. Hashtag Deuce. Christian Oliveri says, nice hands, Jenny O, number 25. Brian Berg says, number 25, his hands like feet.
Ouch.
I will not discuss that or try to find out what that means, because we've got TM Folk in motion and Cahill throwing a screen pass to the left. We have a flag on the play, though, so Zealy is going to get a big gain here, but we have 2 flags. This could be coming back. Zealy runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line, but I have a feeling this will be returned.
Looks like could be a holding, coming back.
And even if there's offsetting penalties, even one against Boston would negate the run.
Well, that was a really good play call nonetheless. They caught him totally off guard, and huge play, but it looks like it's most likely wiped away by...
It is. Good lane penetration by Zealy, but a penalty on Boston. And that pass interference play led to the San Diego touchdown, and penalties happen. I mean, Boston not immune to it. They committed about 6.5 a game.
So the Surge looking to hopefully get a 3-and-out here. That was a really big play for them. They thought it was not a big play, but I mean, it ends up being a hold-in, and mean, that is part of football. Maybe that's why the play opened up so well.
Holding is the penalty that is enforced, so it will be 1st and 20 from about the 22-yard line. Cahill fakes the handoff to Zealy, has plenty of time to throw, but the protection collapses, and she'll have to run out of bounds. She lost a few yards on the play.
Surge pressure and Cahill.
Very good heads up by the Surge. They did not bite on the run.
I should say that she did lose a yard.
2nd and 20 for the Militia.
It will be 2nd and 20.
Three wide. That's a wide. They got a wide 3 right now. Looks like could be a run.
Long again, it's a passing play, and it's complete to Adrian Smith, who breaks through one tackle, and Boston makes up for most of that penalty. They're at the 34-yard line, a gain of 18 yards, and a very manageable 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, they might have been thinking the same thing I thought, a run, because it kind of looked like it was going to set up to be a run, and she was in the slot, ran down straight down the field, wide open, and she broke a tackle. That's the defender hit her chest level, which most likely is not going to result in a tackle. Especially these Boston players, they do not go down at all. So you're really going to have to come up and hit them.
You guys are sending me tweets with impunity. I'm going to have to do a little bit of catching up here in our next opportunity. But right now, it's a big 3rd down play, and Cahill will convert on it as she busts through a few tackles and runs to the 49-yard line, a 15-yard gain for the quarterback.
That was a very good run by her. She used her lead blocker the way you want it. She didn't overrun it. Probably could have overran her. She just guided her as a shield and picked up the 1st down. Very smart heads-up play by the quarterback. And that looked like it was a designed run off the bat.
Cahill, another Ivy League member, as we mentioned, attending Princeton College. We have a lot of college graduates on this Boston Militia roster, so very intelligent athletes out there. We have a flag coming in on the carry by Zealy. She gets to the 42-yard line, but holding on Boston, and I believe that's their 2nd penalty for holding on this drive.
This drive alone, yeah.
Holding Militia.
So let's get caught up on these tweets. Didn't mean to interrupt on you. Brian Burke, you mentioned him. Olivia Smith says, "Go Jen, I love you." Jenny O, number 25 for Boston. I am Simone S says, "Here we go, Serge. Plenty of game left. Let's go, Lex, Tiffany, Loco, Kim, and Nika." Lisa Carey, never ready, says, "Sending some love from Long Beach." Kristen McDonald, a Boston fan, says, "Let's go, Jenny O." As we get the ball spotted. You guys are sending us a lot of tweets. I like it. Shay Burke says, "We love you, Jenny O," from Shay, Kristen, Olivia, and Jen. So Oliveira getting a lot of support on the social media. Mike Grigg says, "Go get your ring," to number 22, Emily Holland, and the rest of the Boston Militia team. They have a lot of work to do, though. Allison Cahill, she's going to make up the holding penalty in a hurry, gets back to midfield, and gains 11 yards. Boston, I don't think they mind about the penalties they've committed because they'll just make them up on the next play.
Yeah, their run game is really clicking right now. That was a great ball fake to the up back to the right, and she just splits off to the left. Wide open field. The San Diego Surge Unit defense's answer to this, because it is obviously not happening right now. Their run game is just totally throwing them off track.
2nd and 10 from the 49, a 10-yard gain officially on the last carry by Allison Cahill. TM Folk in motion. A quick shovel pass to TM Folk, looking to turn the corner, and she does. Has plenty of space to the 30. and almost broke another, but she'll go to the 22-yard line and pick up 29 yards. And a very fitting question from Issa Gale-Levy. How many players does it take to bring a militia woman down? The limit does not exist. And on that play, San Diego needed several players to take down TM Folk.
Yeah, they're just not wrapping them up. Oh, I was going to say they got a weird formation right here. Catch them off guard.
They're playing a little hurry up at the end of the first quarter. Usually you see that at the end of the second.
They got a little Chip Kelly going right here. Look at this.
Well, Philadelphia's in the region. They're in different states, but not too far apart. Cahill, screen pass to TM Folk. She catches it at the 20, breaks another tackle. To the 10 she goes. 18-yard gain. And a player down for San Diego.
Now she got blown up by, I think it was number 66. I'm trying to get her name
on San Diego or
yeah,
Boston?
Boston, number 66 blew her
Stephanie
up.
Jeffers, the offensive line. Jeffers, from Medford, Massachusetts, went to the University of Tulsa. And the Tulsa Threat also chiming in on Twitter.
In right now.
Well, they noted that the WFA is very much like a family, and so the Tulsa Threat are watching from Tulsa, Oklahoma, also the home of the Tulsa Shock of the WNBA. So we'll read a few more tweets as we find out who the injured player is. Brandy Fitzgerald saying a degree and a ring in the same summer. Dr. Thailander, get it done. So a PhD to Thailander's credit.
That'd be a very good year for her. I mean, a year of her life, I'd say.
And Will DeMar saying, don't forget the hashtags. If you want to win, put Robinson in and hashtag Deuce. I love the social media feedback we've been getting from the San Diego and Boston fan bases and even the teams who aren't competing. They would have no incentive. It'd be perfectly reasonable to not follow this game, but they're so passionate about the sport. It's like the Super Bowl. Your team may not be in it, but you watch because it brings people together.
And you got to love that around the league, the women showing love for their fellow opponents. It's not always like that in all the other leagues, you know. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, I'm not in it. I don't really care, but
not here.
Not here.
Well, it's a strong community, and a lot of the players know each other, and after regular season games, the teams will hang out at various restaurants or other establishments for a post-game get-together. There is a lot of camaraderie in the Women's Football Alliance.
Yeah, pregame I seen a couple of the Chicago players hugging the San Diego players. Obviously, they're good friends. Oh, and here's a good sign that.
And not to mention, there's a rivalry between Boston and Chicago. It was Boston that stopped Chicago from playing here at their host site. The player for San Diego is number 75, Tanya Paluhi. She's on the defensive line and slow to walk back to the San Diego sideline. We have 23 seconds left in the first quarter. You hope she's okay. San Diego has weathered a couple of injuries already, and they have a more shallow roster than Boston does, and this has to be concerning.
Yeah, that'd be a huge loss for them. That's probably one of their D-line leaders. So you hate to see this for San Diego. She's walking off very gingerly. It does not look.
Very slowly. And Boston was ready to run the next play, but they have to wait until she clears the sideline.
If you can't get any more worse, that is a huge blow if she's out of the game.
We hope she's okay. First and goal for Boston at the 9. Hand off to Zealy. Oh, plenty of space. You know she's going to run it in. Touchdown, Militia.
Give them 6. That you could have ran that 100 down the field. They don't even know what's coming. You got 3 running backs back there. Hat's not picking up a hat. Easy score.
Whitney Zealy could replicate the Bo Jackson Tech Bowl runs if she had the opportunity.
And she is something else right now in the playoffs. She is how do you say? Okay, so it's man amongst boys. She's a women amongst girls right now in the postseason. She is showing out.
Low snap, kick is up, and putting it in again is Emily Holland, the graduate of Tufts University. 16 seconds left in the first quarter. Boston up 28-7. And I got to keep up with these tweets. You keep sending them. I'm getting barraged here. I feel like I'm getting attacked by Whitney Zeely from the social media. Kristen Oliveri says, Jen Oliveri is so swag. Go, mommy. Ben Oliveri says, Jenny O, you're giving me a ring. From your favorite son. Fordaholic 27 says, sending Boston some love from the Keystone Assault. Good luck and safe travels to both teams. Olivia Smith says, go Jen from Tori, Victoria, Hannah, Jen, Shay, Kristen, and Olivia. Oliveri has quite the following. I think it would perhaps rival that of Tom Brady.
You gotta love the love.
Julia Chaff says, women showing love for women. Ashley at Coffee at Cardio. I'm reading tweets from my laptop. And Judah Kelly says, let's go Surge. Got a house full in Sacramento, sending number 85 some love. That's Holly Peterson. Kickoff is underway. And it's picked up by Peterson. Peterson at the 45-yard line, past midfield, and runs out of bounds. They will spot her at the 48-yard line, so San Diego starts in enemy territory, and when they have a short field, they're able to make use of it. We'll see if San Diego can capitalize this time.
Yeah, this is a really big drive for them. That was really good play by her. Just the little thing. She had the ball in her right arm, moving up the field, and turned it to her left. I know it's not the hugest thing, but hey, turnovers happen, and you've seen that so far when Boston has caused two, and it's because of that football being on the wrong side of the arm and the inside instead of the outside. So those little things right there go a long way.
And those two turnovers led to 2 touchdowns. 11 seconds left. This should be the final play of the quarter. Snyder moving up, empty backfield for the Surge. 3-step drop for Gallegos, quick dump, incomplete. The intended receiver was Lanika Manning.
Second and 10, sir.
6 seconds left, and I lied about that being the last play of the first quarter because the clock stops on an incomplete pass, as most of you football fans know.
We will forgive you.
What you're seeing out of this football coverage locally, we'll have plenty of high school football in the Twin Cities area on Perfect Storm Broadcasting coming up in about a month. Single back formation. They had to get Manning back behind the line of scrimmage. So it's a legal snap. And Snyder will bring it to the 44-yard line, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. So San Diego will have third and about 6 when we start the second quarter. Boston leads 28-7. And let's get caught up on our email feed. A message from the Tennessee Train. Way to go, ladies, on the Militia and Surge. Keep it up, Surge. You can catch the Militia and make it a game. Boston, you look like a championship team. You ladies make us proud to play in the Women's Football Alliance. So I see what Tennessee's doing. They're playing both sides.
Very smart.
So just in case one side wins, they get perks. You see, if they were to cheer one team and the other team wins, they might get scuffed.
Mm-hmm.
I see what's going on. No, great job. We love your support, Tennessee. And Adam Griggs saying Zeely makes runs like Bo Jackson in Tecmo. He was reiterating what I said. And WSN247.com. Doing an excellent job of reading fan tweets while providing great coverage. Well, it's thanks to you that we have this opportunity to provide this coverage. I was on hand to work this championship event 4 years ago in Las Vegas when Lone Star defeated Columbus, and I'm glad to be back, and I hope to return next year. Single back formation again for San Diego, trips to the right on 3rd and 6. 7-step drop for Gallego. She is going deep, and the pass is caught. They will spot her. At the, that's Peterson on the catch. They will spot her at the 12-yard line. 32-yard reception for Holly Peterson.
Huge play on a 3rd and long. Stride. The receiver did not have to slow down. That was a perfect throw. Gallegos has an arm. She has a 21-1 on the regular season touchdown interception ratio. She has shown that she can throw the ball.
And in the regular season, Gallegos was 2nd in the QB rating, 129.9. Handoff to Peterson this time as she rolls right, now cuts left, trying to find space, and is met by a host of Boston tacklers. She'll lose 3 yards on the play. And that will bring up 2nd down.
That was a tough run. She looks tougher than she looks. I'm really impressed with that run. It's a gang tackle, good tackle by Boston, but she did break one tackle and shifted another one.
Peterson known for her running game or receiving game more than her passing. She had just 4 carries in the regular season, but she did run for 67 yards on those carries.
And 2 touchdowns, so that's
2nd and 13 following the 3-yard loss. Guidry in motion. Gallegos looking to her right. She's going to Guidry and overthrows her. Good coverage by number 45, Vicky Eddy from Rutland, Vermont.
And they're going to want to get the ball in Guidry's hands. She's a playmaker. 19 total touchdowns on the year. She can do it all from running to receiving to returning. She's really a special player, so they're going to look to get her involved heavily in this game to get back into it.
Guidry, their most versatile threat in the postseason. Guidry had 9 carries for 95 yards, and through the air, 6 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 114 yards. But a long 3rd down, 3rd and 13. They can cross the 2 and convert without scoring if they need to. And a bot snap off of Guidry. Boston will pick it up again. Making the fumble reception, or the recovery, is Vicky Eddy. Oh my goodness, Guidry was in motion. The center wasn't aware of it. Gallegos wasn't aware of it. And San Diego with their 3rd lost ball due to a fumble.
Yeah, you hate to see that. They've probably done that play 100, 200 times during the regular season, you know. And for something like that, just a little mistake like that, that could really come back to hurt them. They were marching down the field, come up with some huge 3rd down plays, and they're just shooting themselves in the foot.
Boston has already scored 2 touchdowns off of turnovers and are threatening to blow this game away. Zealy again. Breaks through to the secondary, and she'll gain 10 on the play. And a 1st down for Boston.
Very good offensive line work right there. They're getting to the 2nd level with no problem. And when that happens, when you get a head on a linebacker up to the 2nd level, it's usually a very good run.
2nd and inches is the official ruling. So they gave her 9.5. Now she'll get the 1st down that way. Plenty more. Breaking through more tackles. Working off the screen. She's into opposing territory and is tackled out of bounds at the 38-yard line. No doubt that was a 1st down, a 32-yard gain for Zealy.
This is some unbelievable running. She is...
She's making Bo Jackson look like a Pop Warner player.
Yeah, they cannot tackle her.
Making
And
Adrian Peterson look squeamish, I should say. Here's Tiempo. She wants to get in on the action. And she takes it to the 22-yard line.
Another 1st down.
A gain of 16 yards and another Boston 1st down.
The offensive line is imposing their role right now. This is very scary for the Surge fans to be watching because they cannot stop any running back there. The line is just totally controlling the game.
Timeout, and there was some folks asking where to tweet. It's The Sports Brain, TheSportsBrain. Julia Jass saying Boston Militia cannot be stopped. Scott Fisher says much love to Boston. Go Jenny O, Bree Gallo, and Alpo from Scott and Becca. There's a lot of nicknames up in Boston. And from the email serve, go Kim Henry, number 29, from Team Kim. From a viewing party in Long Beach,
LBC.
And Melinda Sparks telling us that the Orlando Anarchy also having a viewing party. This game being watched on the big screen. PSB is getting big time, and so is Boston.
Yeah, well, these are the best of the best when it comes to women's football, so.
I want to know, do the other Boston athletes, or New England athletes, I should say, do they have nicknames in the same vein as the Militia? Does Tom Brady go by a nickname?
I would assume so to some, some people do. I would assume so.
Oh, David Ortiz is Big Poppy. TM Folk on the handoff, looking to get past the 10. And the second effort gets you to the 11-yard line. That's an 11-yard gain and another Boston first down.
San Diego's 12-yard line.
And they're right back up to the line of scrimmage. You got to love this pace of football by the Militia. They're not slowing down one bit.
Quick snap, Boston in the hurry up. It's Zealy again. Tack on another 6. It's the third rushing touchdown for Whitney Zealy, and she has scored the last 3 for Boston.
And she's running with a clear purpose. She probably woke up today and said, you know what, I'm gonna have the game of my life. And she is showing out right now. It's really a blessing to call and see this kind of a running. I'm kind of lost for words right now.
We had ample warning, 14 rushing touchdowns entering this game. Her postseason total is 17. And as you mentioned, she was coming off a leg injury from week 1.
Yeah, she's showing that I guess her leg is A-okay.
And Emily Holland is getting a lot of reps in for extra points. She puts in another one. 35-7 the score with 11:27 left in the second quarter. And Whitney Zealy, you mentioned it was a broken leg?
Yes.
And it rings shades of Adrian Peterson. You remember a couple of years ago, the Vikings-Redskins game? Peterson shattered his MCL and ACL. It was a broken ankle for Zealy. People thought if he was ever going to play again, and then he runs for over 2,000 yards, Whitney Zealy, you come back to get 17 rushing touchdowns in the postseason, 17 touchdowns in 4 games.
Now, some people just want it more than others, and you cannot teach that. It's just something in you, and you can see it out of her. She just wants it that much more.
Will DeMar saying, boom, goes the Militia Dynamite.
And boom, there goes the dynamite.
Ben Oliveri says, I see Ernie. I wonder where Bird is. James Geisman on Twitter says, Boston stand by for the second half. Go Alex from Jimbo, PJ, and Chris. Olivia Smith says, go Smitty, number 40. I love you, Mom. Kristen Oliveri says, the sweet smell of charcoal lingers in the breeze as my fellow friend Ernie has to flee. He must have found Bert.
Yes. San Diego need a big answer right here.
They moved the ball effectively. It's hanging on to it. That's the problem. They'll get good field position on that short return, but was close to midfield. Carmen Cruz making that return, and we have a Boston player, 2 Boston players down. And one of them is Smith, number 40. So another stoppage in play with 11:29. A very scary sight for Boston. That's not something they'd want to see. They were partying. They were having a lot of fun, running up the score off those turnovers. 3 touchdowns off 3 turnovers, and now you have to wait helplessly
Well, they're a tough bunch of women, led by head coach Derek Beasley. I know he was always a tough backer. If I can remember right, I think he played for the Kansas City Chiefs as well as the Patriots. But when you're led by somebody who's made it to that level, he brings that, I want it that much more. And they're showing it right now. They're playing very well for their city. They're putting on for Boston and their coach. He must be very proud of how his women are playing today so far.
And a few more background notes on Boston. Allison Cahill, the quarterback, an All-American first-team member this season. And Zealy loves the sport of football. It's such a different team and family mentality than previous sports like rowing, and she was also a dancer. No wonder why she can tiptoe around the defenders.
Yeah. She's showing it. She's a beast. That's all I can say.
Well, as we wait for the injuries to be cared for, we hope everyone's okay. Neither player has gotten up yet.
Another note,
go ahead.
Wide receiver, is that Adrian Smith? Yeah, she's a very good ambassador for the game. She hopes one day that the players are paid, and I think it'll come to that one day. They deserve it.
The more exposure they get, the more support goes their way. I've always believed that. And there are some folks who say, well, if you televise the games or broadcast them, you discourage people from attending the games. Well, look at all the viewing parties we've had. Orlando, Daytona, Tulsa. And those are just the people that have chimed in the first half. Who knows how many viewing parties are
you got love from
being held around the
London,
league.
over the pond. I mean, people are really showing love for these women. They recognize that this...
I have to interrupt you quickly because one of the players that was hurt, and she's walking slowly to the sideline, was Stacy Tiamfolk, who had the 49-yard touchdown reception early in the first quarter. That's not a player you want to lose. Tiamfolk from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, Cornell University graduate. Smith slowly getting back up.
Yeah, she's really running the ball well, too, so that would be because they just been plugging running backs in there. And it seems to be working for anybody back there. But again, Zealy is obviously the go-to back right now.
Adrian Smith, the other player that was down, and that was two of your primary contributors. And we certainly hope they come back. Nancy Grant tweeting us saying Boston Militia killing it. Go number 24. Brianna Gallo was the player. Christopher Stevens says, go Surge, plenty of time left. Go Alex Alexis and Booty. Khalifa Bennett is welcome back to the champion status, Boston Militia. Philly women's football is watching. I wouldn't be ready to crown the champions just yet, but they are making a strong case. And Oliveri saying, Ernie is looking hot today. Laura Mindell says, go Boston Militia, love you number 50. Amanda Alpert. But we return to action as Smith and Tiamfolk go to the sideline. We certainly hope to see them back in action.
2 down for the Boston.
Clean snap this time to Gallegos. She hands it to Snyder. And Snyder gets it to the 46-yard line, a gain of 4 yards.
And she's built like Bettis, Jerome Bettis. She's a boulder.
And I noticed Gallegos, she also has some muscle to her body.
Yeah, she does. I wouldn't want to tackle either of those women, personally.
And you look at her and you're probably thinking, oh, she's not mobile. She can't throw the ball. And I would say Gallegos
she gets
deceptive in that mark. Well, you don't get the second highest quarterback rating out of pure luck. 2nd and 6. Screen pass to Guidry. Guidry does catch it and bobbles it a little bit, and that may have stopped a potential lane. She's tackled by Eddie at the 44-yard line, a gain of 2.
Guidry usually has very good soft watching her warm up, and she just caught the ball with ease. And I don't know what it is going on, right now with her, but a clean 3 or 4 more yards. Maybe he busts and breaks the tackle there, but
3rd and 3 for San Diego. Trips to the left. Gallegos looking that way. Underthrown but caught. That's Peterson. It will be enough for a first down as she is tackled at the 36-yard line, a gain of 8 yards.
Good protection right there for the quarterback. She got a clean release. A little bit underthrown, but it was a good catch by Peterson. First down resulting in.
As we've said before, San Diego very effective at moving the ball on offense. It's ball control where they get sniped. If they can hang on to the ball, they could work their way back in this game because their offense is just as lethal as Boston's. Snyder on the carry, breaks to the first tackle, gets to the 35, breaks to another tackle, and a good block set up by her teammate. That allows her to get past the 25-yard line. They spot her at the 22. Making that block to give her some extra yards was Asia Landrum. A 14-yard carry for Snyder, and I should say that was Casey Clark, not Landrum. Casey Clark was responsible for about 5 of those yards.
Boy, she was a freight train come in. She broke 3 tackles and hurdling over someone. You gotta love that play. And that could play a big part in wearing down this defense, because you get a big back like that, and you don't want to tackle her. I mean, as fearless as Boston is, you don't want to see someone like that running with the ball.
Fresh set of downs at the 22. Guidry to the left of Gallegos. Fake handoff. Gallegos rolling left, going deep. Incomplete. And that was a sure touchdown. Unfortunately, it was dropped by Alex Evans.
What a throw on the run. That was an amazing throw. It was right in her hands. Maybe the sun got in her way.
And the sun is low. It is 6:15 Central Time here in Chicago, and I was told that after 6 o'clock the sun can be really intrusive. I mean, we don't have a hard time seeing up here, but I do notice the sun. And day will slowly turn to dusk when we wrap this up.
But that was a heck of a throw. I mean, I did not expect it to be right in her breadbasket. That was right there.
But unfortunately, no catch, so no credit. 2nd and 10. Split receivers this time, 2 on either side. A delayed handoff to Guidry. Gets to the 20. Works through 1 tackle and is taken out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So an 11-yard gain and another first down for San Diego.
Yeah, very good run by Guidry, but if she would have followed her right guard, because she had a right guard and right tackle up the right seam, she might have took it to a touchdown, but she overran her lineman, which maybe she's an explosive player. That happens, but
you're not going to falter for a 12-yard carry.
Exactly.
It's 1st and goal from the 10. I understand, and up here we have a benefit the players don't, but that's still good running on Guidry's part. She still broke a couple of tackles, and that's the big step for successful running backs.
Yeah,
How well?
You can't fault it's a first down.
You can't fault the effort,
yeah,
because she did break a tackle for some extra yards. 1st and goal from the 10. Pitch. It's Snyder this time, and she's snuffed out. Loss of 2.
That was read perfectly by Aaron
Diet. I'm going by Diet, unless it is pronounced another way. I know there's a lot of Boston fans watching. Perhaps they can enlighten us.
Yeah, you got to give credit for taking up the line and burst through the gap. She read that perfectly, and although she didn't initially get the tackle, she impacted the play well enough for her teammates to come in and get the tackle.
2nd and goal from the 12-yard line. Guidry in motion. False start. Left tackle moved. That was Katrina Walter. Now we'll push them back 5 more yards. 2nd and 17 coming up.
She's pounding her chest. My bad. Yeah, she knows it. You hate those little penalties, because those little things can happen. Maybe you're anticipating a point of impact with your opponent across the field or something, but
Second and goal from the 17-yard line. And this is getting a little more serious for San Diego. You want another touchdown to give yourself a reasonable chance of coming back, because there were some folks in Twitter coming in, including Ken Clark, who says the Surge usually play better in the second half. And thank you for these tweets. I'll be going through a few more when we have another downtime session. Guidry in motion again. Three-step drop for Gallegos, looking to go deep, passing left, and this time the connection is successful. Touchdown, San Diego. It's Peterson with a 17-yard touchdown catch.
Great read, give him 6. She has a really good pocket presence. She's so comfortable back there, just surveying the field, and you got a perfect throw. All of her throws today have been darn near spot on perfect. She is showing why she was the second-rated quarterback this year on the WFA. She's a non-traditional look of a quarterback, but she can really play. I'm really impressed with her today.
Gallegos with 2 touchdown passes to her credit. The extra point is successful. 6:59 left in this shootout. Boston leads 35-14. And let's catch up on some of these tweets. You guys, I love this. Ricky Lee says, "Hi, number 52. You guys are doing awesome from your Maryland family." That's Deirdre Hjort.
Crab cakes.
Jake Peters saying, "May every last second count, Genio. Way to play hard." And Oliveira has been playing hard, so is the rest of Boston. But San Diego getting another touchdown, and as long as they can control the ball, could be a toss-up, as we've seen San Diego maneuver the ball, and they really are good at picking apart Boston's passing defense.
Yeah, maybe they could force a turnover. It only takes a couple plays to really turn around the game, and I could easily see it happening for San Diego. They're down. That was a great response from their offense. Their quarterback was like, "Hey, women, we're in this game. We're going to compete. We're not going down without a fight," and you got to love her tenacity.
So a couple of long sustained drives. That's a short kick. It will be fielded by Boston at the 35 and going nowhere. Making the catch was Deanna Walsh from Stoneham, Massachusetts. Donnie Kirkendall saying, "Hiley Peterson, pump it up. Let's go Surge. This is not over." And Doreen Keith saying, "Dancing and football have much in common. Go Tonka." I'm guessing a reference to Zeeley, who runs with the strength of a Tonka truck.
Yeah, she does. She's impressive. And she's split back
Did
right
I
now.
say Tonka truck? I meant a Peterbilt or Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime.
6:54, and here is Zeeley again. Doesn't see much in the pile, and she's not going to go anywhere, but there may have been a face mask or a horse collar. A San Diego player reached around. The signal is face mask, and Boston's going to get a few yards here.
I think that was Martin. She probably knows it too.
Jessica Martin?
No, it was
Nengi Martin.
Nengi. The K is silent. I'm sorry, folks.
It is on Nengi Martin. Nengi Martin.
Nengi.
We would like to thank the Chicago Force for their linguistics assistance.
Much love to Chicago Force. They have shown us nothing but respect, and they're defending champions. They took the loss.
I'm sure they took it hard, but they're still hosting and with much grace and professionalism. But it's Chicago. They love their sports. They treat you right here.
Just like Boston, they're a really good sports town.
15-yard penalty on the face mask call. Split backs for Boston. 1st and 10. Zeeley in motion. Cahill. Quick slant to Zeeley. Breaks through the first tackle and will run out of bounds. Will be spotted at the 44-yard line. A gain of 8 yards.
I'm guessing she has at least 10 broken tackles so far. It's not even halftime.
Out of bounds at the 44.
She slices with surgical precision. But this time it's Number 39 on the carry, and she'll have enough for the first down as she gets to the 39. That's Dorothy Donaldson, the 5'4" fullback from Lakeland, Florida, a graduate of Colgate University. And it doesn't matter how great San Diego's offense is, they need to find a way to contain Boston's rushing attack.
Yeah, it hasn't worked so far. Boston.
Zealy breaks through the first tackle and gets the pile to the 30-yard line, a gain of 9 yards. Zealy, I don't think she has gone down with the first contact at all.
Not at one. No, no way. She is showing up.
Showed up? You mean turned up?
As the kids like to say these days, turned up for what?
And the shorthand phrase is turned up with the ED replaced by a T. Not grammatically correct, but Zealy has one speed, and it's not neutral. 2nd and 1. And now Donaldson and Zealy switch places in the dual slot formation. And Cahill, delayed pitch to Zealy. Zealy gets the first down, and what I noticed from Zealy, she is great at reading the holes.
Yeah, she is. She's very patient, and that was a really good option by the quarterback, Cahill. They know what they're doing. They're very fundamentally sound, the Boston Militia.
Clock stops to move the chains, as always. And this score would read like a final score.
Yeah, Boston is imposing their will big time on both sides of the football right now.
And we still have another half to play. Zealy would be my early pick for the championship MVP, though, with the numbers she's put up and the 3 rushing touchdowns. She'll get another crack at it. Reads the hole again and has plenty of space on the left side. Can't quite break it for a touchdown, but she goes to the 6. A gain of 19 yards for the Roxbury native.
Now, what a block by Dorothy Donaldson. You can't make that play without great blocking, and she sealed her defender, cracked back, and Zealy hit the seam. They're technically sound very up to par.
A graduate of Holy Cross College. 1st and goal from the 6. Donaldson in motion. Zealy has it again. And stopped just short of the goal line. A gain of 5.
And it looks like they ran the same jet sweep the other way as they did the play before.
And Zealy, plenty of holes given by the offensive line, and Zealy does a good job not overthinking or over-pursuing. She finds the holes and simply takes them.
Yeah, very patient runner. And that is something that it's hard to teach patience.
Or trust, for that matter. Cahill lining up in the shotgun. And she'll go to Zealy again. Why not?
And she ran over her own player right there.
Not even her teammates will stop her from scoring her 4th rushing touchdown.
Give him 6.
$18 postseason touchdowns on the ground for Whitney Zealy. Oh my goodness. And there's some Boston folks yelling, "Where's Vicky Eddy?" And she has to place the snap. And Holland, who is 5 for 5 in extra points, will make it 6 for 6. 3:19 left in the second quarter. 42-14 is our score. Checking the Twitterverse again. Ricky Lee saying, number 52, I'm so proud of you and your team. I would have been at every game if I wasn't on deployment. Go Militia, go Navy. Deirdre Hjort is the player she is shouting out. Lisa Costa saying HDMI cord plus well-placed laptop equals Boston Militia on 48 inches of awesomeness, and they have 42 points of awesomeness if you're a Boston fan. The Brown Dragon saying Tracy the Ninja Wong celebration dinner on the Viking when you get home to San Diego, no matter what. Tracy Wong, a defensive back for the Surge. And that's the latest from the Twitterverse. Don't forget you can email us too. Just click the email link on the PSB screen and those messages will be forwarded to us. But the Twitter following just continues in the same frequency and strength of Boston's rushing attack.
Yeah, you gotta love the support that the teams are giving and the fans.
Deidre fields the kick. Fakes the handoff. Gets to the 36-yard line before she's stopped by a host of Boston tacklers. Now San Diego has a lot of time. 3:09, and we know they can move the ball. Gallegos has 2 passing touchdowns already. The key, obviously, get one more touchdown, at least hang with Boston before you regroup in the second half.
And you really don't want to go down into halftime down 4 scores. Basically, that's 28, 28 nothing right there. So if you go to the halftime thinking you're down 28-0, it's really hard to psyche yourself up and say we can get this. But hey, anything can happen. This is the championship. This is why these teams are here.
1st and 10 from the 36 for San Diego as the sun continues to set. Deidre in motion.
There we go.
And there was a fake handoff, or I should say reverse, that gets to the 44-yard line. I thought there was a little movement early, but I do not see a flag, so the play does stand. And it's an 8-yard gain, or I should say a 3-yard gain for the Surge.
And little plays like that could, crack open an opening because you got one player moving in motion and it just throws you off sometimes.
Well, you don't always need those big gains. I know they always look flashy on the highlights, but get 3, get 4, and then you break out the big one. 2nd and 7. 3-step drop. Pass is overthrown. Peterson, the intended target.
Yeah, she knew it. That might have been her first mishap of the game. She's been on spot on the whole game. Better throw, that would have been a first down and probably a lot more.
Maybe more. That brings up 3rd and 7.
Big shout out to our music, music person. They're playing some really good songs out here, getting the fans in the game.
That would be the PA crew, the public address crew. They're all Chicago Force representatives, so I'm sure the message will be received. That is Snyder on the handoff. We have a flag thrown by the umpire. Snyder gets to the 35, but we will check the marker.
I think it's an area of holding. Yeah.
It is holding, so wipe away the first down. That just kills you.
Yeah, very disheartening, especially with a big run like that. You really need to score right here for San Diego.
And I guess fitting that they play Hard Knock Life on the public address system. A penalty like that certainly makes you feel like you're living life. So instead of a first down, it's going to be 3rd and long. Remember, it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, Chicago, they got some rhythm in their soul. They're playing some really good music. I'm really enjoying this.
This was the home site of the Blues Brothers. 3rd and 17 from the 29. You would expect a passing play here. Boston showing blitz. Now they back off. And they don't blitz. Gallegos looking deep.
Oh.
And Guidry missing the throw and she had everyone beat. Had that pass been accurate, that goes for 6.
There was no one back in the backfield back there. I don't know if the safety moved up or she didn't recognize the play, but that could have been a touchdown easy. They just missed the throw because there was no safety for help.
And instead of a touchdown, or at least a first down, it's a punt. The run by Snyder negated by a holding penalty. And Boston will have about 1 minute and 25 seconds, barring a return here, to get another score on the board.
You know their foot will be on the throttle.
Gallo is back to receive the punt. And it's a boomer. Gallo will let it go. Takes a San Diego bounce before it backtracks to the 30, and that's where Boston will take over. I have to imagine with 1:14 remaining, Whitney Zealy will factor heavily on this drive.
Yeah, you know Boston want to go in with another score right here. That would really just deflate the San Diego Surge of making a run at this. But as a fan tweeted, they are a second half team. So whatever, maybe they go in the locker room, get super psyched up, and they come out with just adrenaline running and fumes, and they're a second half team.
And we've seen their offense explode. To get here, they beat the Kansas City Titans in the American Conference Championship 59-14. Right now, it's Boston looking to get another one. And there has been almost nothing to stop Zealy, but Cahill opts to pass this time. Now she backs off and will take it herself as she has a big hole to work with. And she runs to the 38-yard line. A gain of 8 yards. Cahill had 12 rushing touchdowns entering this game for the postseason and had 182 yards rushing herself, so the quarterback can scramble.
Yeah, she's very shifty. She knows what to do. She's a very smart player, as you alluded earlier. She's Princeton. Is it Princeton?
Yes,
Princeton.
Ivy League.
Ivy League, so you know she's got smarts on her. She knows what to do with the ball.
Well, the Boston Militia is following me on Twitter. I certainly thank you for your support, Boston, and I hope you're enjoying our broadcast. Jen Watkins wants to give a shout out to them as well. She predicted a National Conference sweep. The Indy Crash won the Alliance Bowl last night. The National Conference All-Stars won the All-American game today. Watkins played in that game with several teammates, and she's predicting Boston to continue running away with this.
Well, they're not.
We'll find out if it's a trifecta.
Yeah, they're so far not letting any of their supporters down. I talked to a lot of people, pre-game, and they say Boston is the much tougher team when it comes to physicality, and they're showing it.
Christina Johnson from the email server says, "Come on, Serge, bring home the ring." San Diego has their work cut out for them if they want to do that. Joe Johnson and all the ladies, hashtag all in. Right now, Boston is locked in. Zealy to the right, and in motion is Asia Landrum. And Cahill keeps it herself. Gets to midfield and the 49-yard line. First down, and the clock stops to move the chains. You think Cahill was getting a little jealous of Zealy's rushing yard total? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
We're kidding. But Cahill, as we said, great scrambler, and we've seen it in the NFL, in college. Quarterbacks who can run the ball are very hard to stop because you can't blitz them or they're going to beat you for 10, 20 yards.
Yeah, it's something that you really don't see coming, a quarterback who can do that. It's very, like you just said, it's very hard to stop.
Aaron Rodgers is one of the examples. Robert Griffin III prior to his injury. Russell Wilson, part of that read option group.
Yeah. They're very.
Terrell Pryor, he had that 93-yard run for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, that was. I thought he was gonna blow up, and then he just tailed off. But yeah, like you said, it's very hard to predict and stop when you can do both.
And Boston has their version in Allison Cahill.
Militia.
53 seconds. Boston has used 2 timeouts on this drive. Landrum in motion again. Cahill fakes the screen. Throws the go route instead, and it's caught by number 85 as he's tackled out of bounds. Emily Weinberg, the tight end, brings it to the 24-yard line, a 25-yard gain.
I'm not sure what the Surge are doing. It's less than a minute.
They're not stopping the ball.
They're probably going to pass. I mean, they have been running it down their throat, but they're going to probably pass it, and it was wide open. 2 people were wide open on that play.
What have we said about football? You establish the run, and you have to respect it, and that opens up the passing game. Classic example.
Yeah, they're having their way right now with the Surge.
And Weinberg went out of bounds, so the clock stops. It's Zealy again, has a lot of space, decides to cut through the hole up the middle. Maybe she could have scored had she gone all the way, but she does get the ball to the 7-yard line, a 18-yard gain. They spot it at the 6.
Very good run by her. The receivers are blocking perfectly, and the spike right now. They spiked it.
Boston spiked the ball.
And I see Tanya Paluli. She's on the sideline right now with her gear off, wincing in pain. So that's obviously been a huge loss for them. She looks like she's out for the game.
And the Indianapolis Crash get their recognition for winning the Alliance Bowl yesterday. We had that game for you here on Perfect Storm Broadcasting. I'll be darned, Boston spiked the ball. They're playing 2-minute drill, even though they're up by 28 points.
Yeah, the foot's not off the throttle. You gotta love that as a fan.
They play strategy no matter what the score is. I like that. Fake handoff to Zealy. Cahill under pressure, throws, touchdown. Emily Weinberg.
What a play by Cahill. She's very elusive. I thought she was gonna get tackled right there. But she just turned on the jets, and the receiver was wide open in the end zone. Huge blow to the Surge right there going into halftime. Down by 5 scores now.
The second passing touchdown for Allison Cahill to add to her 1 on the ground. She has 3 total. And another opportunity for Emily Holland. Can she stay perfect? Yes, 7 of 7.
Perfectenschlag.
Perfecto. 49-14, Boston over San Diego. And Brian Berg is telling us that Jenny Oliveira has won multiple football karaoke titles, but has never worked a day in her life. True fact.
That's a good life, I would say.
You know what they say about a job you love.
You're never working.
And on Facebook, Danielle Thompson, the quarterback and owner of the Minnesota Machine, chimed in, saying, hoping things were going well down here in Chicago. Suffered an injury, and that ended her 2014 campaign, so she couldn't participate with their Minnesota Machine teammates in the All-American game. But
I can't wait. Chicago's been nice to us, but I can't wait to get back home. Minnesota, yay.
Well, Danielle Thompson, a diehard Vikings fan, her brother runs the SB Nation blog site for the Vikings. Norseman Daily, I believe it is, or the Daily Norseman.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Let's see what San Diego does here as time is running out in the second quarter. Ball's at the 45-yard line. I presume San Diego will go for it, or at least attempt to get something.
Yeah, their quarterback's got a cannon, so they're going to shoot for something. I'm not sure how many timeouts it's not on the scoreboard, the timeouts, so I'm unaware of how many.
Well, San Diego already used 2, so they think they only have 1 left. 15 seconds remaining, ball at the 45-yard line in our Women's Football Alliance Championship game. A game with a lot of Boston scoring. Empty backfield. think this will be a Hail Mary. It is. Deidre, the intended receiver, but she was a little in front of that play, a step or two ahead.
Man, she could have been a big play right there.
Pass to three, complete. Second and 10.
Coming up, when we start the second half, we will announce the league award winners. For the Women's Football Alliance. And we'll have our first half stats and analysis. I don't think there's a whole lot to analyze other than Boston is kicking butt. Trips to the right. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a weird setup. Watch out for a trick sneak play.
There's still time to get a couple of plays off.
Okay.
And they go for the screen pass to Snyder, which is caught. And Snyder will run.
Oh, wow.
Time expires. No flag. So
What a hit. You gotta love that. She played,
Mocha Torres with the throwdown.
laid her on her behind.
Well, Torres gives Boston a defensive highlight to bring us into halftime. 49-14 is the score. Andrew, I don't think this would be much more simple, but if San Diego cannot stop the running game, Boston will run away with this championship.
Yeah, Boston has had a clear plan from snap one. Let's run the ball down their throat. Let's dominate the line of scrimmage, and they have done that.
We'll pause and come back to start the second half, and don't forget we will announce our award winners, and we will continue to follow your tweets and emails when we return to Lane Tech Stadium in Chicago, Illinois. It's halftime for the Women's Football Alliance Championship.
Things off here. You want to kind of talk about the season in review. I know you had such high hopes for as an individual at the beginning of the season, and then you had it set back with the injury, but you battled back, recovered, and had a very strong postseason. So maybe your individual kind of triumphs and tribulations and the teams as well.
It's hard to separate my individual feelings from the team feelings, just because the start of the season I did have high hopes. I was really excited. At the end of last season I had shoulder surgery, so I just knew this was going to be a very, very exciting season. Just excited to feel like I was back. And then the first game I broke my ankle, so I was out for the remainder of our regular season. And I really didn't think I would handle it too well. I didn't think I'd be able to be on the sidelines. I didn't think I'd be able to watch practice. I thought it'd be really, really hard. But my team has just made me so proud throughout that time. And they're really the only reason I feel like I was able to handle myself so well on the sidelines without going crazy. They have so much fight, and they play with so much emotion that it really carried me throughout the balance of the regular season. So I really just owe myself being here now to my team. And since I've come back, they've been so supportive. Coaches, administration, the team, and nothing's changed. They just let me back in. We picked up where we left off. Didn't miss a beat, and it's been great being back with those guys, feeling like I'm contributing to the team again.
Initial timetable, were you expecting to be able to come back?
So I could have opted to not have the surgery and probably been out even longer, but I decided to have surgery and get screws put in, and with that timetable, I was expecting to be back sooner, but my coaches, of course, didn't want to push anything, so I was like, okay, I feel like I'm ready to go, and they're like, wait. So I think everything worked out. I came back at the right time, and we have not a lot of depth on offense, so I think me having fresh legs helps, and it gives other people a break, so it's nice. I think my timing worked out well.
Speaking to Adrienne Smith, just talking about overcoming the injuries, maybe, with the sport, having to pay to play kind of sort of thing, there's just got to be so much, passion and camaraderie to keep coming back after overcoming a major injury, a broken ankle, a torn labrum, and so on and so forth. What inspires you guys?
I think we really just inspire each other. When one person goes down, you have another person willing to pick up the slack, and half the time that person has a torn ACL or, their shoulders barely hanging on. It's just seeing the fight in every single one of us, seeing us never count each other out. It's hard to put into words just how inspiring it is. And I think we really, every time we step out on the field, we go and fight for the people that can't be on the field with us. And it's what makes us such a family this year more than ever, really, because we have a lot of people battling injuries, hanging on by a thread, literally. So it's just been such a special season, and we really have been motivating each other and inspiring each other.
What's the health of your team going into tomorrow?
I think everyone keeps telling themselves one more game, literally, as we're getting taped, one more game, and it's, give it all you got, all or nothing. And we're willing to make that sacrifice.
You've played probably in other team sports. How does this compare?
I played soccer, and then I swam and I rowed, and both swimming and rowing are very much, you're doing it with a team, but you're in your own head, you're not communicating with the other teammates. So for me, this is different. I haven't played a team sport in a while in the traditional sense. So just playing a team sport again and playing for this team, it's unreal. It's not a team sport, it's a family sport, and you really, the next girl has your back and you have their back, and it's everything I could ever dream of, and it changes your idea of what a team sport is and should be. And to think we're playing it at such an advanced level, whereas college, you may be rooming with people, or in high school you have classes with these people, you see them all the time. Here we get together 2 or 3 times a week for a few hours, and it's one of the strongest bonds you'll ever have with somebody, and it's crazy to think that it could work like that.
Do you think this team unity is unique to the WFA, to football, or most team sports? Is it hard to calculate?
It's hard. I know every team has a story, and they have their own sentiments within a team, but I think even some of the other girls can attest that this bond this year, because this is my 4th season playing, this year, it's just such a special bond that it's hard to put into words how amazing it is, but it's just, sorry about that. It's magical. It's
and again, it goes back to the adversities.
I think so. We came into the season not knowing who would be back, not knowing the health of a lot of people being on the fence if they were coming back or not, and every game, whoever showed up, whoever showed up at practice, we worked with who we had, and we just got stronger and stronger as a team as the season went on. And a lot of people have, roller coaster ride of a season, ups and downs, and I think this year has just been, with every game, we just get that much better, that much stronger, that much closer. So it's been building throughout the season. I think we're finally here at the championship game, and I think it's going to be magical tomorrow night.
How do you view reaching the championship game? Almost a relief, or is there's still some excitement and allure and magic to it?
There's a lot of excitement and magic. I feel like a lot of people, we've had people come from other teams that have folded, and they've gotten to championship games or semifinal games. The Militia the past 2 years have been in semifinal games and we couldn't close out. So it's we expect to get far into the postseason, but the past 2 years have shown that it's not guaranteed. And to be here now and to know what we've gone through this season, it's a lot of excitement, a lot of anxiety to just is it Saturday night yet? Let's do this. We want to win, and we want to feel that feeling of being a champion again.
Is it easy to remain focused through all the anticipation? I mean, now you're here on site,
Yeah.
I'm sure the energy level is really high. You almost just want to play right away as opposed to tomorrow night.
Of course we don't. I wish it were tomorrow night, but it's hard not to look ahead and look forward to the feeling of winning. But it's definitely something we don't take for granted, and our coaches make sure we're not taking it for granted. We still have chalk talk, we still have film, and right now it's doing everything you can do to be prepared. You can't be over-prepared in this case. So it's keeping sight of our goal and focusing on what we can do, what little extra thing we can do to be that much more prepared for tomorrow night.
With all the film, all the practices, the travel, how do you maintain the balance between your other life and football life?
It's tough. I know it's tiring, it's exhausting. You don't have a social life during the football season, so for 8 months of the year, you don't see your family. It's tough.
You
but I think
like your teammates then.
Yeah, exactly. You have a bunch of other girls going through the same thing, making the same commitment, the same sacrifice. It's awesome. It's awesome.
You think you'll continue doing it for the foreseeable future as well?
Yes, till the wheels fall off. I think so.
I'll start off with Pretty simple question, maybe simple. Just kind of how you guys got here, what you've seen, developments with the young players, the veterans as a whole to reach this championship game.
A lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. I mean, coaches are putting in time on film. We're putting in time on film. I mean, everybody's contributing one way or another.
With the film aspect, how much film do you have on the Militia or other teams as you're preparing for a game week to week?
Yeah, I mean, we only get the game before, so we only get one film. So I'm pretty sure everyone's broken down every single play at least 20 times each. So I know myself, I've been on film for a good 12 to 14 hours. So
what have you learned?
They're fast. Their defense is fast, We have to execute. I mean, if we can play our game, keep the penalties down, and execute, I think we can do it.
Any new plays or new nuances that you guys are going to maybe try to slip into the fold on Saturday?
We have a game plan, I'm sure they have a game plan too. I'm sure they put stuff in, we put stuff in. You try to find out their weaknesses and you try to break them down. So, yeah.
With the matchup against Boston, were you around in 2011 when they played?
I was.
And how was that experience? Do you still have lingering, animosity toward them, or want to get revenge in some ways?
I know it sounds weird, but we were young. We came in and we were kind of like, I think we got this. I think, we didn't plan as well as we should have. And this time around, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable, a lot more prepared.
Comparing at least the stages that you've experienced so far in reaching the title game this year versus 2012, personnel is probably different, maybe some nuances are different, but what else have you seen kind of changes within the league, within the team franchise's mindset?
Yeah, athletes are athletes. Whatever team you play, every team has athletes. Our team is stacked with athletes. Boston's team is stacked with athletes. DC, I don't want to take any credit from anyone. There's a lot of great athletes out there, and we just happen to be the two that came out at the end. So I'm excited to see this game.
Welcome back to Lane Tech Stadium in Chicago, Illinois, as we continue our coverage of the 2014 Women's Football Alliance Championship game. And Andrew Onenson, my broadcast partner, if San Diego can't find a way to rally back, that championship is returning to Boston. They lead 49-14 as we get ready to start half number 2.
Yeah, I look for the San Diego to come out strong. They don't want to lay down. They're not going to lay down. They've made it this far. They're a championship-level caliber team, and I expect them to come out in the second half with some fury.
So before we start, let's recap the WFA League Award winners. For the American Conference, the most valuable player, Deanna Guidry from San Diego. The Offensive Player of the Year, Katie Sowers from the Kansas City Titans. We saw her in the All-American game this morning. And the Defensive Player of the Year, Nenji Martin from the San Diego Surge. The National Conference MVP, Allison Cahill, not surprising, from Boston. The Offensive Player of the Year, Jeanette Gray from the Chicago Force. And the Defensive Player of the Year, Nico Kokura from Boston. The Rookie of the Year, Case Tukatow from the Seattle Majestics. The Coach of the Year, John Konecki of the Chicago Force. And Derek Beasley of the Boston Militia, sharing co-honors, the Owner of the Year, Scott and Shanna McCarron of the Seattle Majestics. And we talk about diehard sports communities. Seattle is rabid, especially for the Seahawks.
Yeah, they love their sports. They support all their local teams. Hopefully they can get a basketball team back out there. They really miss the Sonics, I know that.
Well, congratulations to all of the award winners, and let's thank our sponsors one more time. Team Rebel Sports, SG Helmets, the Women's Sports Foundation, Bolt Athletics, Impact Custom Mouthguards, Brain Century, USA Football, and also a thanks to PSB, Perfect Storm Broadcasting, for their support in our live web stream coverage. San Diego wearing the white and gray jerseys, Boston wearing the red. And you have a few more notes you'd like to share? Perhaps, Andrew, I know you got some pregame notes.
Yes, Nico Kokura. She's a Japanese immigrant who moved to Boston after the Sacramento team that she was playing for folded. So she probably wanted to continue her career and move out to Boston. And that's a big step to move out from west to east.
To go from coast to coast.
She played college football with men in Japan, so she's tough.
Loves Boston and the teamwork required in football. And Rachel Raposa is saying that Tina Pittori is a sexy beast. Huh.
Holland set to kick.
I get that a lot.
Well, San Diego needs to beast, and that's not going to do it.
Her knee was down. She couldn't advance the football.
Right, we play college rules. And making
Ball is down.
the kick reception was Peterson, and she mishandled the kick. Doesn't get much out of it. Not the way San Diego was looking to start.
Well, one thing good about the Surge, they come out on offense. And that's always a great thing. You want to come out and see if you can get right back, see if you can get more into this game, because you don't want to get it too out of hand.
They had a couple of passing plays dropped, especially late in the second quarter, that could have really helped them stay in contention. And right now, it's a thorough Boston rout. Peterson in motion. Gallegos fakes the handoff to her. Under pressure. Dumps to number 47. And she has a lot of space up the middle of the field. Gets to the 45-yard line, so a gain of 20 yards for Nenji Martin, who plays tight end on the offensive side.
And she gets up and signals first down.
And the officials concur. They give her a 21-yard gain after they spot the ball at the 44.
That was a really good screen. Delayed. You could see the defense came, 3-4 yards past the line of scrimmage, so they were beat. And all you had to do was dump it off to a player to make a play. Yak.
Yak, of course. Trips to the left. Single back. On 1st and 10 for San Diego. Gallegos had 2 touchdown passes in the first half, both to Peterson. Now she's looking on the right side, and making the catch is number 8, Casey Clark, to the 14-yard line. 30-yard pass.
That was a really good catch over the shoulder. She's led the team this postseason in receiving yards. So she's no slouch to big plays, and she's averaged over 26 yards a catch in the postseason. So she's a big playmaker on receiving for them, besides Guidry.
And that was a similar setup with Guidry, except the pass was on target. And you see the difference. A big gain. And a play in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 14. San Diego looking to get another score up. Delayed handoff to Snyder. Snyder breaks through the first wave of tackles and pushes forward to the 8-yard line. It's a gain of 6.
That was a very good run. Boston got number 67, Christian Sarson. She was in the backfield, 2 yards penetrated, and she just took
Second down and 4.
took the defender, the next defender for a little bit of ride there, and got a good yardage.
2nd and 4 from the 8. Split back formation. Guidry and Snyder. Guidry to the right, Snyder to the left. Guidry in motion. Snyder with the carry. Gets to the 5 and is stopped just short of there. It will be 3rd and about
Snyder,
1.
middle run down by Casey.
You could say this is 4-down territory with so close to the end zone.
Short of a first down.
Yeah.
San Diego, yes, this is 4-down territory. There's no question. They spot her at the 6, so it's 3rd and 2, but still a very short 3rd down. Single back formation, this time it's Snyder. She gets the carry. She has the first down. She has the touchdown.
Give him 6. That is what you want as a Surge fan. You come out in the second half and score a touchdown right away. It's got to be a huge boost to their morale.
6 yards gain for
Snyder with their third rushing touchdown of the postseason. Let's see if that sparks a rally for the San Diego Surge. And as we've said before, San Diego, an excellent offense. It comes down to handling the ball, and they've had 3. It's a 2-point conversion. There's a flag on the play, so we'll see what happens here.
2-point flags on the play.
It's ball security where San Diego has lacked. 3 turnovers led to 3 touchdowns for Boston, and that's a huge difference in the score.
Yeah, it's a big swing. When you get a turnover for points, it hurts really bad.
Offside on the call against Boston, so the penalty is declined. The 2-point conversion is good. And a quick drive for San Diego, 2 minutes and 57 seconds. With 12:03 left in the third quarter, it's 49-22, Boston leads. And we talked about all the teams hosting viewing parties. The Tampa Bay Inferno has a fan watching the live stream. That's James Helm. We certainly appreciate your coverage. Issa Gail Levy says, don't want to jinx anything, but it looks like Militia is taking a ship. San Diego hoping to offer a counter opinion.
Yeah, they're not going down, and they showed it. If you expected them to roll over, think again. This team is mentally tough, and they've shown it at the drive coming out the second half, marching on the field. They're only down less than 4 scores now.
They have a long way to go.
They have a long way, but
it's the ball security that's changed this game. Because if you take away the 3 turnovers, it's a much closer game, most likely. The extra possessions.
Yeah, that hurts, but...
And once more, if you want to send us an email, you can do so. Click the email link at the bottom of the PSB screen. And don't forget, you can send us tweets at The Sports Brain. I've been receiving multiple notifications today. My Twitter account getting a workout, and I'm okay with that. We'd love to hear from the fans. They try an onside kick, but Boston recovers. And making that catch is Aaron Dietz from Taunton, Massachusetts, a graduate of Manchester Community College.
That was a good attempt by the Surge to, get a little quick sneak for the onside, but it was well read by her, and she covered up the ball right away. Fell on it, didn't try to advance it. That's not. You want to do a bonehead move. You want to
keep it simple. As the ball has to advance 10 yards, of course it did not, unless a Boston player touched it, and Diet, no question about that, fell on top of it. So Boston getting a short field, the 44-yard line, and Zealy lining up. I don't think we've heard the last of her. She's going to get the carry. Cannot break through this time. Dina Guidry with the stop, a loss of 1. That's the first time Zealy has had a tackle for a loss or carry for a loss.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Huge play from Guidry. She's a two-way starter, so she's great on both sides of the ball. She just showed it right there. What a play.
And two-way starters, not common in the college or pro ranks, but in high school football, that happens quite a bit. I know you were in that situation when you played high school ball at St. Paul Harding.
Yeah, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. You want to play both sides of the ball, but you want to be fresh for the whole game. You want to give your team the best chance to win.
So Zealy with their first run for a loss, 2nd and 11. They line her up in a passing route this time. Donaldson the single back. Incomplete. Adrian Smith, the intended receiver, and it's good to see her back, as I know she was one of the players injured in the second quarter. Boston might be getting a little rattled here.
Yeah, that was a little off target. She had her open in the slot. And
I don't think we've seen too many of those incomplete passes from Boston.
Not at all. They've played a very sound, efficient game. Maybe they're getting rattled, like you said, they're getting rattled.
Well, a couple of plays don't go their way, and all of a sudden they become stymied. And this is obviously a big third down for San Diego, because if they get a stop, Boston probably punts, and perhaps the surge can continue.
And you got the coaches on the sideline hyping up the surge. Looks like a timeout by the Militia. Yeah, something wasn't going right for them on that play, and they needed to call a timeout.
Well, Boston calling a timeout. The Daytona Breakers are chiming in. Both teams are awesome. Great crowd. Awesome job announcing and showcasing the WFA National Championship. Well, thank you, Daytona. If I ever get down there, see if you can book me a reservation at their speedway. I'd love to take a tour. Tina Pettori says, you're killing it reading these tweets. Also, Raposa, Ashley, and Toll wish you guys were here drinking beverages with us. I will not disclose which beverage because there may be children watching.
Yes, I was gonna say, tip one back for me, but I will just go and say drink some water, stay hydrated. We also gotta drink. We gotta stay hydrated up here. We're just like the players in a sense. We gotta keep it going.
The Everett Rain chiming in. Congrats to Scott and Shannon McCarron, the owners of the year. Their second year as owners, the Seattle Majestics. They've been around for 12 years and recently moved from the IWFL. A lot of teams moved over from that league to participate in this one. Big third down, 3rd and 11. 3 receivers to the right. Cahill under pressure. Rolls right. Has some space. And gets out of bounds, but well short of the first down. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Does Boston attempt a 4th down conversion here?
Oh, Cahill is slow to get up. I think
she's back up. I think
they're going to go punting.
She just took a hard hit, but she's okay.
I would say punt here. You're still well, in control of the game. You don't want anything. Oh, looks like they're going to go for it. They got Cahill coming back out. Well, they're fearless. That's Boston.
4th and 10 for Militia.
Forget Boston strong. This will be Boston fearless if they can convert this 4th down. I mean, they are still up by a big margin, and their defense outstanding. 3 turnovers leading to 3 touchdowns. But if you don't convert, San Diego gets decent field position, and that's why I thought maybe a punt, pin them back.
Yeah, game of 2 halves.
It's a game of field position. Oh, no, Cahill's going to punt.
What a beauty.
And that's going to take a bounce. It will not reach the end zone. But Boston will down it at the 15. So Cahill serving as the team punter there.
Yeah, she can do it all. She can run.
And we have an official stoppage in play here, so let's get another email read from Keisha from the Tampa Bay Inferno, a former player wishing Boston good luck. Can't wait to play with you ladies next season.
Oh,
I think the Militia's championship run is attracting some players. Ella Coffey saying the Tampa Bay Inferno in full effect, watching all day and supporting women's football. Decaf number 57 for the Tampa Bay Inferno. Brian Burke telling us on Twitter, between winning championships, Jenny Oliveira mostly naps. He did say that Jenny O hasn't worked a job. Well, maybe that's where she spends all her time.
Yeah. Hey, napping is important. You want to get your rest.
Isagel Levy says she's tipping one back for you and the Boston Militia. We appreciate that.
Much love. Appreciate that.
I hope it's a glass of water, because that's what we're tipping back. A penalty was assessed to San Diego. Offside call, I believe. 4th and 5. Oh boy. Here's Zealy. Big run here. She's got the first down. Tiptoes, stays in bounds. Goodbye. Touchdown. 39-yard touchdown run, and the narrative changes instantly.
What a run. Give him 6. She showed her dance.
We tip your glass to you, Whitney Zealy.
They say she was a former dancer, and
she danced on the sideline.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Her 5th rushing touchdown of the game.
So your surge, you go from receiving a punt, so giving an offside, and you got an injured player now, and you're giving up a touchdown. It couldn't really go worse for the past 3 minutes for them.
How much do we say mistakes matter in this game of football? That one could not be more costly.
No, that one could really, if you go back to the, I mean, if the Surge were really, they came out efficient on offense, and then with this potential stop that we all, thought, and they just, this huge blow right there, that is just so much costly, right?
As we wait to get a confirmation on the injured San Diego player down, we have a point after coming up for Boston. And this should seemingly clinch the title for the Militia. Winners of the championship 3 years ago, and they knocked off the defending champion, Chicago Force, to get here.
The Red Sox won it last year in baseball. And they could go from that to this. That'd be a really great 365 days for Boston fans, sports fans.
The injured player for San Diego, that is Ashley Moody, number 16. He was the starting safety for the game. Walking off, hope it's a short-term injury. San Diego can ill afford to lose their key players at this stage. So an offside penalty on San Diego cost them, and the perfect streak ends for Emily Holland, but I don't think she'll hang her head too much on that. Boston with a 55-22 lead with 9:57 left in the third quarter. A couple more tweets, this time from Rachel Toll. Says, Tina, I got your tweet right here. Go Militia. And Jenny Oliveira gets the WFA senior citizen discount. Shannon DeClue has an observation on that Zealy touchdown run. Nice body control for Zealy. The color commentator is keeping us in stitches. You do know that words are more powerful than any other form of expression, right?
Zealy's showing out right now. I think she's got to be the favorite to win the MVP of the game. I haven't seen nobody run like her in any level of any type of football. I mean,
the tiptoe across the sideline.
Yeah, she can tiptoe, she can run you over, she's got the complete package.
She could not have been more than a centimeter away from going out of bounds. So San Diego will try again. Guidry fielding the catch. Breaks a couple of tackles. That will get her a few more yards. And she pushes her way forward to the 48-yard line. So good field position for San Diego. And, hey, they took a hit. You get back up, and you move down the field again if you're San Diego.
Yeah, their last possession, they moved it down the field with ease. So maybe they can look to continue that same type of momentum. Get Guidry. She's their explosive player. See if she can get something going for him.
And another injured player. This time it's Boston. That's 5, Vicky Eddy from Rutland, Vermont.
Could be a cramp. Looks maybe like a...
They're stretching her left leg. And another stoppage in play. Another reminder as Eddy gets up. If you like our football coverage of this event, stay with us. In the fall, we'll have plenty of high school football coverage for you on Perfect Storm Broadcasting, representing the Twin Cities area.
Friday Night Lights.
And Brandy Fitzgerald telling us that Tina Pettori drinks milk and watches Boston Militia. So, milk is good for you.
Milk is great
Calcium,
for you. Protein,
vitamin D,
yep.
Low fat. You got some milk, right?
I got some milk, and eat your spinach like Popeye. Be big and strong like these women out here.
San Diego hoping to milk the score a little bit and get back in this game. Hand off to Snyder. Gain of 3 as she's brought down. Kokura was there in the play. So was number 71, Nikita Bowman.
Brought down by Diet
Diet was the initial player on the tackle.
She's made a lot of plays. She's a tough defender. She gets in there and, you know, looks like she wants to get on every single play. She's got a lot of energy. You gotta love that. Reminds me a lot of J.J. Watt. He's constantly everywhere, and so is she.
Split receivers, 2 on either side. On 2nd and 7. Guidry on the pitch. Breaks through the first hole. Breaks through the second hole. And is tackled at the 38-yard line and a late flag. So there could be a few yards more, but we'll see what the ruling is. And it's a face mask. And it's against Boston.
So tack on another
15 yards. There's a Boston player down following this play. So a gain of 10 by Guidry and a 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. And a big gain for San Diego. The player who was slow to get up and is hobbling off is Jennifer Oliveri.
Guidry reminds me, I don't know if she's a fan of the Dania Tomlinson, but she reminds me of him. She's got, she can score running, she can score receiving. She's got us the same number as LT. I don't know if she's a big fan of him or what.
Tomlinson spent many years in San Diego. I think that's where Darren Sproles, he played for a few years there.
Yes, he started out there.
Knocked off the Indianapolis Colts in a thrilling playoff game a few years ago. Martin in motion this time. Handoff to number 11. That's Sablin. And Sablin to the 20. Finds the hole and gets past the 10. San Diego enters the red zone. Thanks to Jordan Sablin, a 17-yard gain.
That was a whale of a block by the quarterback, Gallagher. She laid the defender out on a keister and freed up the runner. If she didn't chip back on that block, she could have been tackled for loss. San Diego also had Michael Turner, who was stacked behind their depth chart, just waiting to emerge. And once Michael Turner got a chance, he exploded.
First and goal from the 6. Sablin averaged 13 yards a carry in the regular season. It's a fake handoff this time. Incomplete. That was a great read by Gallegos, and they just couldn't hook up. Peterson and Gallegos, and San Diego will face 2nd and goal.
Yeah, both these quarterbacks are showing that they're on top of their game. They didn't get here by chance or by luck. They're purely the two the best teams in the conference.
But plenty of time left.
2nd and goal, San Diego.
And San Diego, they've scored enough of these, so they're not going to feel too deflated over one mistake. 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Snyder in motion. I should say Snyder lining up. That's number 81, Cruz in motion. Carmen Cruz, the tight end. Guidry throws right. Martin with the catch. Touchdown, San Diego. The first touchdown catch for Nenji Martin in this game.
And that little subtlety of the ball fake to the running back will give the defensive back just to look in a slight bit, and that's all it takes is for the receiver to get behind you. Give him 6. What a read by the quarterback. That was perfectly executed.
Give him 6 is your line, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
You've had a lot of practice at that today.
Yeah. They've been giving us 6.
Gallegos with their 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And when you factor that into her postseason totals, she has 9 passing touchdowns. 9 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. I'd say that's quite efficient. Again, it's the fumbles that have cost San Diego today. The Surge will go for 2 again. And that was broken up. Making the rush was Eddie and number 67, Kristen Sarson. And San Diego will have to settle for 6.
Conversion, no good.
55-28 the score with 7:10 left in the third quarter.
7:10 left in the third.
And so it's college rules. They could return that for.
Right. It could have been returned for a point, but good to see San Diego resilient in the third quarter. We have a few more tweets. Ashley Banfield says, how many touchdowns does Zealy have? She has 5, and the reason she asks is because we want to chug a water for each one. I don't know if it's 5 glasses, 5 bottles. I certainly hope it's not gallons.
Yeah, that'd be.
That would be very deep water. Brandy Fitzgerald giving a shout out to number 85, Emily Weinberg. Can't wait to see your new ring, Boston. You know, they can't put it on their finger just yet.
They're getting mighty close. But
they're getting closer, but San Diego, they've scored
on
2 touchdowns on 2 drives in
both,
the third.
Both possessions in the second half. They haven't been stopped yet.
And we've seen comebacks. You remember that unforgettable Houston-Buffalo game from 1993, I believe?
Yes, and same with the Dolphins and the Dolphins and the Bills, that Monday night game.
I thought it was the Jets.
Yeah, Jets, there we go.
The Monday Night Miracle?
Yes. So it can happen.
And how about that flurry of scoring from the Vikings and Ravens at the fourth quarter of their game last season? TM Folk receives the catch and a late flag.
Yeah, that could be a face mask. But last year in the playoffs, the Colts and the Chiefs game, when the Colts came back.
That's right. The Chiefs were up big, and the Colts came away with the win.
Yeah, when you have 2 high-level teams, they're going to play until the whistle is dead, until the final whistle's gone. They're not going to give up.
Face mask is the call against San Diego. So a 15-yard penalty assessed, and Boston will start at roughly midfield. 48-yard line is where they will give Boston the spot.
Couldn't be a better day for football. It's gorgeous weather here.
And the sun is set. Shouldn't be a problem now. If I'm San Diego, though, no penalties. You had Boston stopped the last time. TM Folk is going to make sure Boston isn't stopped this time as she runs to the 35-yard line. A gain of 17 yards for Stacy TM Folk.
I got a good 1-2 punch back there, and their leading rusher in the regular season has not really, Asia Landrum. She hasn't really even been a factor that much.
Doesn't need to.
Yeah, doesn't need to.
You have Zealy. And she gets the carry again. It will not be for a loss this time. She's weaving through tackles, turns the corner, and gets into the red zone. And gives a shove.
She is knocked out unconscious.
To the 18-yard line, a 17-yard gain, and she just bulldozed the San Diego player. I don't have a number. What a block.
She ran her over.
It was a legal block.
Yeah, it was
a legal block.
She went high and she lowered her head. She finished the run right there. That's what you want to see out of your running back, though. You want to see him finish the run, and she sure finished that run.
Zealy certainly had no intent to harm her defenders. Again, it was a legal block. No penalty was called. She just threw the shoulder, and you can do that as long as you don't touch the face mask, the horse collar. It's an unfortunate situation, though, for San Diego and for Zealy, who's in the huddle for Boston.
Now, as a runner,
I'm sure she is glad to put down that hit. She doesn't back down, much like Adrian Peterson. He always wants to get that extra yard or two, but she certainly doesn't want to inflict carnage.
Yeah, exactly. You never want to do that. You want to run him over, but you don't want to knock him out. And it's hopefully she's okay. But what a run. What a finish. I mean, this girl is Jesus.
Andrew, a very religious man. .6:45 left in the third quarter, and we hope there isn't any serious damage done. We still don't have the number on the player who is down. And she's sitting up now. That's good.
Yeah, she'll probably be taken out the game. Suffered a concussion, most likely.
It's possible. I mean, I don't want to
jump the gun.
No, I don't want to make an assumption or speculate on the type of injury she suffered, but it was a tough shoulder that she took from Whitney Zealy.
Yeah, she was unconscious right away, too. So.
She was knocked out cold, and she's getting up.
Oh, that's Peterson.
Yes. That's Holly Peterson who took the hit. One of San Diego's top receivers, and as we mentioned, San Diego has a few two-way starters. Holly Peterson is one of them, and we hope she won't be out for long.
You know she wants to go back out there. She's a gamer, but the medical staff looks like
they'll have to evaluate her and see if she will be cleared to play. And as you mentioned concussions, again, I don't want to speculate that she suffered one, but all forms of football go through extensive testing now. It's the culture has changed from that tough guy stance even 10, 20 years ago.
As much as you want to be tough, you got to be safe these days.
You got to protect the body, especially your brain. Your brain is a temple. 1st and 10 from the 18 as we return to action. Zealy lined up in the backfield. And she takes the pitch from Cahill. Breaks through a tackle again as she cuts right. And she'll run all the way to pay dirt. Number 6 in Zealy's touchdown count.
Number 6 for her. Give them 6. There's nothing she cannot do. She's very shifty. She runs people over. She finishes runs. Crown her.
You want to crown her? Then crown her on ring. Crown her on the ring finger.
And this is going to be, coming off an injury, with the broken ankle, this has got to be very pleasing for her to do this in the playoffs.
And it's good to see her put together that kind of a run, because you wonder, you're the one who put on that hit, how she would feel about it. Her mindset, next play. Emily Holland with the extra point. 6:33 left in the third quarter. 62-28 is our score.
Go get yourself a hot dog. Last call on
and a few more tweets. Let's get caught up on those. Ken Clark tells us that Jordan Sablin's nickname is Day Day. And Stephen Barnett says, I'm glad San Diego is not losing heart. They're having a tough time stopping the Boston offense, but they're putting up some respectable numbers of their own here. Good job, Boston, for capitalizing on mistakes, as we've noted before. Three turnovers led to 3 touchdowns for Boston. And that is a huge difference in our score.
Now, one thing neither of these teams lack is heart. They both sticking in there. Surge is 2 for 2 on offensive possessions coming out the second half. They're not backing down. But either the Boston are very fearless. The runners.
They've embraced the Boston strong mantra.
And this Zealy, she's on a mission.
Zealy could replace Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl, and you wouldn't know the difference. Number 10, Cassia Williams fields the kick and takes it to the 45-yard line. So good field position for the Surge again. Rachel Toll says she wants to see a pass to number 15, Doc Lobster. I guess that's the nickname for Catherine Tylander.
I like that nickname.
Doc Lobster.
Doc Lobster.
Wonder if that's a play on the B-52 song, Rock Lobster. I just dated myself. Lorraine Carrasco telling us that Zealy is a class act. And we don't know much about her background other than her dancing and some of her other participants and the fact that she came off a broken ankle, but she's very graceful and very powerful as a running back. And rakes on English saying the Militia can't stop and won't stop, and it shows on the scoreboard. But San Diego with possession right now, so that's our focus. 3-step drop for Gallegos. Completes the screen to Snyder. Snyder breaks through a tackle and is still running. She has the first down. Pass midfield. The second effort, yards after contact, gets her to the 33-yard line. That's a gain of 23 yards.
Yeah, she's got some wheels. She reminds me of Jerome Bettis. I mean, they both run the same. When they run in, you wanna, I don't know, you just want to cheer for that because you love seeing a player of that size get up and down the field like she does.
Well, we're getting the best of both worlds, as the saying goes. We had a more defensive-oriented battle in the All-American game, won by the National Conference, 24-7. And here, has the feeling of an All-Star game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it very much does. The second half, the surge is coming out.
And so is Boston. And we still have a lot of time left in this one. Delay of game on San Diego. That will make it 1st and 15. And as we noted before, James Geisman telling us, set down the waters and crown the finger. That is awesome. But what we're going to say, there is a play clock. They don't run it here, but the officials keep track of it. And that's a responsibility the players have to keep track of. And the same thing goes for high school football, with the exception of state tournament rounds.
Yeah, you got to have a mental clock in your head as also, the coordinator gets you the play.
And San Diego's facing the clock, they could use that as a guide. Trip right. Gallegos screen to Guidry. She has plenty of space. She'll make up the penalty and is still going. The pile will stop her at the 22-yard line. A gain of 15 yards. And close to the first down if she didn't pass the marker.
That was a good play call by the Surge. The Boston had 5 rushers, and they didn't even, care to bother with the screenplay right there. So maybe there'll be a more tentative in watching out for that, because the screenplay is obviously a huge weapon if you can execute it correctly.
Gallegos handing off to Guidry, breaks the first tackle, breaks the second, but too much penetration for Boston, and Guidry is taken down for a 6-yard loss. Diet was there in the play.
I don't think the Surge line was together on that play. I thought it was a false. I could have went into false start, but it didn't get called. But it was just kind of it was a botched play from the start. Guidry made it looked a lot better than it was.
They spot the ball at the 31-yard line, so a 7-yard loss, and that turns 2nd and short into 3rd and 9. Gallegos lining up in the shotgun. 4 receivers again. San Diego doesn't use the tight end frequently. Sablin along the right side. Guidry in motion. Gallegos in trouble. Pass is overthrown, and credit the pressure from number 83, Deanna Walsh, to force Gallegos into a bad pass.
Yeah, she read it was screen, so she hit her hightail, and she didn't want her to set up for that throw, and that was very good, because if the quarterback, her feet was set, that could have been a easy completion and run after the catch, but throwing off her back foot, she didn't get it set properly, and
again, but there was nobody there to stop Deanna Walsh. She was uncovered. So it's 4th down. San Diego has to go for it here with 4:05 left in the third. They overload the left side this time. Boston showing blitz. Here it comes. Gallegos gets rid of it, and the pass was too strong. She had the right read as she was looking to hook up with Carmen Cruz, but Boston takes over on downs. Lon Turner sending us an email mentioning how San Diego, usually strong in the second half, they scored 36 unanswered points in the second round against Seattle to come back and win 36-20. And they scored 45 unanswered against Kansas City. Different story here.
Yeah, Boston a bit more physical than most teams out there. Very well coached, former NFL players or head coach, so physicality is going to be there.
Thank you for those emails, and don't forget you can tweet us at The Sports Brain as we continue our broadcast. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Fake handoff to Zealy this time. Cahill wants to throw it. And the pass is underthrown, intended for Donaldson.
Cahill's pass incomplete.
2nd and 10 for the Militia.
Pressure by Wong.
That was good penetration by the Surge. They're not giving up. They're fighting, and you gotta love that as a fan and as a coach. Your players are still out there fighting.
Unofficially, we mentioned Boston's rushing prowess in the postseason. 32 rushing touchdowns in the first 3 games of the postseason, 7 today. 6 of them from Zealy.
And they had a plan and they sticking to it. You gotta love that as a coach.
2nd and 10. And a false start on Boston.
And it's not so much about the plan, it's about executing that plan. And one thing is to have a plan, but it's a whole nother ball game when you go out and execute it.
That makes 2nd and 10, 2nd and 15. The refs have no mic, so I have to give credit to the head referee for his booming voice.
Yeah, he's got...
Most of the time, I can't hear what they're saying. Different story here.
He's got a loud voice. Projected.
Maybe he could join the broadcast booth. Well, you see rules analysts these days. Fox has one, CBS has one. They just added Mike Carey.
Yeah, it's always good to have that other insight in the game.
Maybe we can get an officiating analyst. Cahill with a screen. That's complete to Landrum. And Landrum is at the 30-yard line, and she's taken down by a pair of San Diego Surge players at the 31, a gain of 5. It will be 3rd down and 10. Now what? I'm hearing some boo birds.
I'm hearing that was a really good block by number 15.
Maybe they thought it was an ill intent involved. I'm just hearing a lot of boo birds out there. I wonder what that means. There was no flag on the play. Split backs. You think Zealy gets this one?
I'm guessing.
Nope. Fake. Cahill instead throws, looking for Adrian Smith. There may be offensive pass interference. She pushed off on her defender, and she jukes her now. She's tackled at the 24-yard line. It's a first down for the moment, but I thought I saw Smith pushing off. We may have offensive pass interference.
Yeah, I believe that's the right call right there. You could see her push off from up in the booth here. She just got her hands on him, and just that little contact when you're past the 5 yards is enough for to get the flag.
And that is indeed the call, so a no first down. And instead, it will be 3rd and 20. The Nevada Storm are offering their support. They're cheering San Diego on from everyone at the Nevada Storm. And I've been getting feedback from a lot of teams this year.
A lot of love.
It's enough that I would love to come back and do this game again. Although if they hosted it somewhere near Dallas or Las Vegas like they did a few years ago, then we need to figure out a way to get airfare covered.
Yeah, I love Las Vegas. I've been out there. I'm a big poker player, so anytime you can go to Las Vegas is a treat. I've never been out to Dallas, though. Have you been?
I have not been to Dallas. Now what? Another stoppage. This has an NFL feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it very much does.
It's a slower paced game than the first one.
coach over on the Surge sideline is livid.
Something with the clock?
If he was a basketball coach, he would have been teed up. And I like that. You know, in baseball, you can get thrown out. In basketball, you can get thrown out. But in football, they could argue with the umps. Let them have it. Piece of their mind. I think I have seen Jim Harbaugh, I think, get flagged for excessive yelling.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
It is a penalty that can be enforced against the coaching staff. But I think it may have been a clock issue. Well, while we sort this out, reminder that you can send us your emails on the PSB feed, and we've been getting a lot of those when we do get this sorted out. Crystal Ann rising to win 108 says Boston is showing they are all in, but right now they face a 3rd and 21 for the offensive pass interference against Adrian Smith. Cahill drops back. No secret this time. It's a throw, and she misses Smith this time on the coverage. Looks to be Cassia Williams.
Right through the fingertips. That wasn't a bad ball. I mean, it was supposed to be on the outside shoulder, but the receiver made a good adjustment on the ball, but she just couldn't come down with the catch.
Williams was not going to be beaten a second time in a row. And this is a stop that San Diego, well, maybe they can use this, and there's still plenty of time left in this marathon of a game.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to make some noise for the Surge.
Boston coaching staff telling the Militia to hurry. Two championship caliber teams will renew their rivalry at Lane Tech Stadium in Chicago, Illinois. It's the 2014 Women's Football Alliance championship game with two undefeated squads, the Boston Militia and the San Diego Surge. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for joining us in our celebration of the WFA championship weekend. Andrew Onenson, my partner, will join me in the booth. A brief but furious history between these two teams. Boston and San Diego met in the championship round 3 years ago. Boston emerged victorious. San Diego won the national championship the following year, and now these two teams see eye to eye again in the proverbial rubber match. Two strong quarterbacks anchor the offense for both teams, Allison Cahill and Melissa Gallegos. Both were in the top 5 in passer rating in the regular season. That changed a little bit in the postseason, but neither team had to work through too many obstacles. The closest scare was a 72-56 win for Boston over the DC Divas in the second round of the National Conference playoffs. But they have a strong defensive game in Nico Kokura, 8 tackles for loss in the postseason. And Whitney Zeeley had 14 rushing touchdowns in the first 3 games. Boston as a whole, 32 rushing touchdowns. San Diego's defense is one to be feared. They allowed just 18 points in the regular season. They gave up a few more in the postseason, but there was no concern about their chances for another championship game. Gallegos, a very accurate quarterback, and they have an all-around offensive threat in Deanna Guidry. Defensively, Nengi Martin is a player to watch, and she also contributes through the passing and running games. San Diego has a few more two-way starters than Boston does, but don't let that influence your thoughts on stamina. San Diego has a very versatile lineup, and remember, they won this championship 2 years ago, so they understand the energy and the investment required to hoist the cup again. Kickoff is coming up in a few minutes. This is the Women's Football Alliance Championship game.
Just talk about the season kind of in review. I know talking to some of the players, really overcame so many different injuries, had a lot of different girls and women stepping up to the plate. You were able to again, compile a pretty good record and beat a very challenging DC Divas team a few times. So kind of in review again, encapsulating the entire season, how far have you guys come to where you started?
Well, I can say this is a totally different team than what we've been having in the past. And, it's a special group of girls. And we just had a meeting and we was just talking about it and just to say how, what a scrappy team this is. And as you guys know, that some of our people, or some of our players retired early in the season or decided not to come back this season. And we had some younger girls that come in and step in. And, they're going through some new learning curves, so to speak, and I think they've taken on a challenge. But the most important thing is I just think that they've truly bonded, tighter as a team. They gel as a team better this year than they have in the past. So we didn't have the numbers like we used to, but the 47 and the 50s. But now we got 32 kind of like quality girls that we're happy to have on this team.
Yeah, in some ways, obviously.
It's weird how that works out.
I detected that Northeastern accent among some of the Boston coaches as I did my pre-game conversations. Movement at the line. And a full start. Play getting a little sloppy here in the third quarter.
5-yard penalty on San Diego. Pushes them 5 yards back. Second raffle ticket, folks, is for the Corona Cooler.
And if you'd like to get involved in the WFA, there are plenty of teams in your area. We talked about Reno. There's the Las Vegas Showgirls, all the other teams. If you're watching and you would like to participate, look for the team in your area that you perhaps would like to join. Check out their website. Get a few calls out and sign up, because after this game, that starts the recruiting period to bring in more players for the upcoming season. Gallegos pump fakes. And making the deflection is number 24, Brianna Gallo.
It was a good play. They could have went 50-50 ball right there.
Casey Clark, the intended receiver. And that brings up second down. Gallegos is under pressure there.
Yeah, and the winner, obviously gets a ring, and you love seeing that. You get a reward with a nice championship ring. That's what you play for. And so if you're a fan of the game, you think you got some, if you want to just strap them up, teams are always recruiting the best talents out there.
And as we said, after today, a lot of those players start the recruiting process, trying to get more players involved in their team. Second and 10 for San Diego. Gallegos. Quick slam pass is complete to Guidry. And she goes to the 46-yard line. That's a gain of 29 yards.
She showed her muscle right there. She lowered her head and gave the defender a little ride. But I was talking to someone earlier, and they told me that there was actually a player still in high school. This kid came out of high school, 18 years old.
Yes, 18 or older. That's all you need to be eligible to play.
Playing with grown women. I mean, that's impressive.
So players as young as 18 can participate, and I have seen that with the Minnesota Machine over the years as we get a handoff on first down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 6 yards for San Diego.
Snyder up the middle, dragged down by Eddie.
Eddie on the tackle.
Eddie.
Second and 4. Boston showing blitz, they back off. Quick screen pass is incomplete to Guidry, and that will bring up 3rd and 4. We discussed the passer rating. Gallegos was second in the league in the regular season. Allison Cahill was 3rd. Cahill had 90 completions out of 138 attempts, 1,366 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And that was without 2 games to assist. Melissa Gallegos, 1,086 yards, 64 completions, 107 attempts, 21 touchdowns, 1 interception. Needless to say, they're very good. Gallegos going deep. Up the middle, and the pass is incomplete to Guidry.
Yeah, their backup quarterback, actually had 7 touchdowns as well. So they're pretty good at that position. If she would ever have to go down with an injury,
230-642.
they know that they got a backup that they can rely on.
4th down with 10 seconds left in the third. A quarter that finally is
4th and 4 for the Surge.
The longest quarter. The crowd chanting defense.
And the other side is chanting offense. A little bit of confusion there on the delayed handoff to Sablin. No matter, she gets the first down.
And sometimes that, that little confusion, looked like it was a box kind of a assignment there, and it worked in their favor.
And that finally brings the third quarter to an
That brings
end.
us to the end of the third quarter. Boston Militia 62. Surge 28.
So, as we enter the 4th and final quarter
Last chance of these travel tickets for the Patriots
of the Women's Football Alliance 2015 season, it appears Boston will hang on to win. San Diego driving, but they trail by a bundle. 34 points. That's a lot of points to make up.
I also have a Chargers helmet.
One more time, if you want to get a DVD copy of this game, just follow the Women's Football Alliance at WFAfootball.net or on Facebook and Twitter, and we will provide you more information as it comes in. You can send us your tweets at TheSportsBrain. We'll read them until the conclusion of the game. Following the game, we will have the championship presentation. Gallegos faking the handoff, throws up the middle, and it's complete to Casey Clark, who catches it at the 20-yard line, a gain of 11.
Good throw, good catch. Pretty elementary right there. She caught with her hands, not with her, with her body.
Pass was high, and she even made the jump to it as well. You can also send us an email, by the way. Just click the email link on the PSB screen. Split backs this time. 1st and 10 from the 21. Guidry in motion. They fake the handoff to Snyder. Gallegos is looking for Guidry. And the pass is caught, but she was well covered. No gain on the play. Making the tackle was Brianna Gallo.
She's made a lot of good reads at the corner position. She's played a well of a game.
Gallo, 5'6", 133-pound defensive back from Peabody, Massachusetts, attended Salem State.
Did you say Peabody?
Peabody. That brings up 2nd and 10. Single back. Gallegos with her 3-step drop. Evades pressure. Throws. And the pass was mishandled, but a flag.
Yeah, she was draped all over her. That
Emily Holland.
Pass incomplete. Flags on the play.
And they're going to call her for pass interference. That's a 15-yard variant. And you are allowed within 5 yards to make contact with the receiver. And after that, you have to let them get an opportunity to catch the ball.
Yeah, and she didn't on that play. She well after 5 yards. And the contact was obvious from up here.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be a hold or pass interference. Pass interference is the call, and that moves the ball half the distance to the goal. And a fresh set of downs.
Built with the San Diego Surge.
1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. It's not a 1st and goal situation, but they'd have to get the ball very close to get another 1st down. Gallegos throws up the middle.
Pass complete.
And just short of the touchdown.
Just short of the touchdown.
What a completion as she found her receiver on a cross route.
Yeah, she's got a laser.
Didn't see the number on who made the catch.
In the double coverage. That's trusting your receiver. You got to love that from your quarterback.
A crossing route, double coverage, and now San Diego. Well, the official stopped play to see if it was a first down or not. It wasn't. It's second and short.
Martin is checking in the game. Tight end.
And Boston takes a timeout with 13 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter in an offensive onslaught. 62-28, Boston leads. Well, what's your impression? This was your first weekend calling women's football. You got to see the All-Star game, and this has been a marathon of a championship. But what do you take away from your first taste of Women's Football Alliance action?
Impressed. I'm very impressed. These women are, they're showing that they can play. This is not just some strap them up and football type of thing. They can play, and it's great for the fans. It's great for the commentator to come out here and watch this type of competition. I couldn't be more impressed. I love this venue. They've shown me nothing but a great gratitude, and now I'm a fan of WFA, so it's great for me.
So if we cover any Machine games next season, we're from the Twin Cities, and the Machine is our closest team. We can pencil you in for a few games?
Of course. That would be...
Did you know that a couple of years ago, the Machine had to cancel a game because of snow?
What? What stadium do they do?
Woodbury.
Oh,
and the
okay.
field was covered in snow in April. They did end up playing a game in snow, a later season game. The players did not take that too well. San Diego getting the handoff. That's Snyder. Touchdown, San Diego. Snyder with their second rushing touchdown of the game.
But as a player, I've played in the snow, and I love playing in the snow. I'm sure that's why
Snyder scores another touchdown, and you're still on the snow.
I love snow. If you haven't, maybe
San Diego doesn't get snow.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people probably from San Diego might have never even seen snow, but it's a sight to see. It's so fun to play in. Brings you back to being a little one. But San Diego are not going away. The score is they're down by 28. And then gives 26.
They would need a lot to go their way in a short amount of time.
Oh.
Lots of motion. Snyder broke through the first tackle, could not get the second.
2-point conversion is no good for the Surge.
So no 2-point conversion for the Surge. 62-34 the score with 12:58 left. 28-point difference, and again, you really are asking a lot to happen in 12 minutes, 58 seconds, and I'm thinking as we get to the later stages of the game, Boston may start milking the clock.
Yeah, I would expect it very much so this drive right here. Just get your players home healthy, and let's hopefully bring a championship to Boston. For them, their fans must be very excited.
Well, we get a nice look at the dusk scenery here in the north side of Chicago. We're about 2 miles from Wrigley Field. There will be a post-game celebration at Sluggers near Wrigley Field for the players to participate if they wish to do so. Let's see what San Diego opts to do. Do they go for a squib or an onside kick?
I'll project. They would do something. Try to get the ball back right
Let's see
away.
what they do. If it's an onside kick, the ball has to go 10 yards, and Boston is prepared for one. There it is. It will not cross. And Boston falls on it. They recover at the 43-yard line. Aaron Diet falls on the ball a second time.
Boston recovers the outside.
The most intriguing thing about the regular season between the two teams, the quarterbacks had high passer ratings, but not a lot of their other players ranked in the categories. Of course, that changed when you entered the postseason. Boston having the top 2 rushers of the postseason participants in Zealy and TM Folk. And Oliveri was second in tackles at 27, and then Nico Kokura and her 8 tackles for a loss. Screen pass to Zealy. Can't shift through the defenders that time, but she does gain 8 yards as she is tackled at the 35-yard line.
She is so strong. She didn't even go down there. It's very impressive and great to see somebody like that run with that emphasis. And like you just pointed out, the regular season stats weren't all that impressive, but in the playoffs is another story. I mean, they're on a mission. They came out and they wanted to prove to the rest of the league and, you know, to everybody out there that this team they're for real and they want this championship bad. They're hungry.
Another screen, this time to Smith. Smith cuts right and runs up to the 28-yard line, a gain of 7, and another first down for Boston.
So right out the clock, they're trying to put more points up.
Well, they're looking to get first downs, first and foremost, because that keeps the ball in your possession, but you don't think Boston's going to run out of bounds at the 1-yard line if they got an opening, do you?
No way, not in a championship game, not in any type of game.
We expected a lot of offensive firepower from the two teams and the numbers they posted throughout the year. The Arizona Assassins, I should point out, chimed in as well. They got a 99-0 beatdown from San Diego. Zealy continues to break through. He just continues to turn the San Diego defense into mincemeat. And she runs to the 13-yard line.
She's not going down. I can't say enough about her. I can't, it's going to be great for the fans to watch her for years to come. Next year should be maybe 2,000, 3,000 yards. Who knows how much she'll get. How many touchdowns you think? I mean, full season healthy. I mean, geez.
6 touchdowns in this game. And she's got to be over 1,000 yards rushing in the postseason. Cahill is sacked on first down, making the play, Natasha Johnson.
Yeah, let's put that in. She has about 1,000 yards rushing. There was only, 1 to 2 runners in the conference this year with 1,000 yards?
In the regular season, there was just one. That was Tasha Hay, who we saw today at the All-American game.
Yeah, she's a really good runner for the Kansas City. But that's in 4 games in the postseason against the toughest competition. Oh, man.
Give credit to Natasha Johnson for breaking through and getting the sack on Cahill. 5-yard loss in the play, 2nd and 15. So they'll give it to Zealy again. She has a lot of space, so she beats the coverage behind her and is tackled from behind, and that was about the only thing that would have stopped her for her 7th rushing touchdown.
And that was a touchdown-saving tackle.
14-yard gain unofficially. And who's to say Zealy won't get it here? She's lined up deep in the backfield. No, she stuffed that time, no gain. On first, that will make it 3rd. No, 4th and short. 4th and 2 to be precise.
I wonder what the record for most non-throwing touchdowns there is in a game for playoffs or regular season. She's got to be.
We've had a lot of high-scoring games, so it could be up there. Here's the question for Boston. Did they go for a field goal or did they go for another 6?
I think you would go for 6. I mean, what's a field goal going to do?
I suppose at this point it's academic. Split backs, Donaldson to the right, Zealy to the left. Zealy has it. No signal, first down. Zealy just short of the goal line.
Stop by 47 Martin.
They're keeping that clock moving exactly what they want to do, move the ball.
And now they're going to run around the field for the next 10 minutes.
First down, Militia.
We may start seeing some of the reserves for Boston enter the game here as the minutes wind down. Effectively stat padding time here. Donaldson joins the fray. Touchdown.
Donaldson is in for a Militia touchdown.
Dorothy Donaldson from Lakeland, Florida. And she can claim a touchdown to her credit in the 2014 championship game. Good job by the offensive line to open up a hole.
Yeah, they're playing just like the Patriots. The Patriots don't, and the Boston are not slowing down. The whole city's got a motto, and you gotta love that.
It pads the numbers. And what has been a thorough domination from Boston, the big difference in this game was forcing 3 turnovers that led to 3 touchdowns. Extra point is good. 8:49 left in regulation. 69-34. Boston leads.
Yeah, those early turnovers really did San Diego win. They just could not really bounce back from that. But they put up a fight in the second half. Came out scoring two quick touchdowns.
Now we mentioned the 18-year-old age requirement. James Robison on Twitter says, "My daughter turned 18 in February, graduated, and played for the Columbus Comets alongside her mom."
Oh wow, that must have been so fun to play with your moms.
And Columbus, they were in this championship a few years ago. They have a strong program. And what else do you have from the pregame notes that we got beforehand that you would like to share?
I think we pretty much covered all the. I don't know. Oh, Serge has.
You've been so focused on Boston, you forgot about San Diego. I'm disappointed in you.
San Diego
I'm kidding, of
had
course.
10 All-Americans. So, they came into this game well represented.
And 3 of those All-Americans were on their second team. Short kick from Boston. Mishandled, but picked up by number 33 of the Surge. That is Tracy Wong, and she'll run to the 41-yard line.
I'll go back to the Surge. Nenji Martin, I want just to emphasize how important she is to the game. Like I said earlier, she's believed to be the only football coach female in the state of California. She coaches Mission Prep Royals JV team. She's also won the gold in the World Championships Team USA. So she does so much for the sport. You gotta love seeing a player like that. She won Defensive Player of the Year this year.
Nenji Martin was given Defensive Player of the Year for the American Conference.
She does it on and off the field.
So we're in stat padding time, and a shovel pass is complete to Snyder. Alexis Snyder gets it up to the 46-yard line, and your comments are resonating with the Boston Militia. You noted how they played like the Patriots. The Pats don't slow down, they don't slow down. The city has a motto.
You gotta love that. They're gonna be partying tonight. And they came out, out of the gun, just playing very good.
Opportunistic.
Yeah.
It came down to those 3 turnovers. I mean, Boston still would have been in control of this game, but it would have been a lot closer had San Diego not turned over the ball. Gallegos completes the pass to Guidry, and she breaks her defender, has plenty of space to run, gets all the way to the 10, and finally is tripped up by Gallo. 43-yard pass to Guidry.
Yeah, the game so much is revolved around Yak, and it goes to show right there that, you could just catch a little dump pass and turn it up the field for a 40-yard gain. She made her player miss, and she finished the run very well.
San Diego not wanting to go away quietly. This is their last game of the year. Go out flying.
Yeah, go out with pride. You love seeing play to the whistle.
And that's the kind of play that gains respect from your contemporaries, even when the score is lopsided. Martin now will bring the ball upfield, and she gets to the back to the original line of scrimmage.
Second and goal for Surge.
Second and goal now for San Diego.
The lights are on. Playing on the lights. I love nighttime football. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, just something different about nighttime football.
Gallegos, quick drop, gets rid of it, and throws it away.
Yeah, it was uncatchable right there. She could have got called for the penalty, but
she threw it past the line of scrimmage. There was a receiver nearby. I mean, you're right, she wasn't out of the box, but... Third and goal coming up for San Diego.
Just under 7 minutes to go. Cool breeze rolling in the Windy City here.
Deidre in motion. Gallegos in trouble as she rolls right, and she is almost dropped, and she finally goes down. Completing the sack, number 75, Jennifer Edwards. Edwards hails from Brockton, Massachusetts. That will bring up fourth and goal here. Fourth and goal from about the 14-yard line. Three-step drop for Gallegos, going deep. Why not? Incomplete. And Boston will take over.
Very good throw, though. She gave her receiver a chance to catch the ball. That's all you can ask for. And if the defense wasn't on its heels, that would have been a touchdown. So you got to give hats off to the Boston for not taking.
Turnover on downs to the Militia.
So Boston takes over with 5:42 left. Let's see, are we going to see the second stringers come in, or are we going to see more of our primary options?
Well, it looks like Cahill's still out there. They are going to the last whistle.
Well, as you pointed out, the Pats don't slow down.
The Militia don't slow down. I love that motto. Let's go.
They have a motto, they're sticking to it. And we're in stat padding time here.
Landrum on the carry.
Now, the WFA brings a lot of teams through.
Yeah,
they have, I think one season, it was maybe 2-3 years ago, they had about 70 teams and a lot of divisions, and we can pull those up actually just to show you how far this league reaches throughout the country.
A lot of diversity, a lot of playing, a lot of giving people a chance to come out and compete. And at the end of the day, that's what you want.
Well, especially for teams that don't have professional franchises. I mean, in the North, in the National Conference, I think there are 6 divisions. That's how big it is. There are 6 divisions for both conferences. It's getting the carry on that play is Asia Landrum. She gets it to the 21 for a gain of 7 yards. That will bring up third down and 3. 6 divisions for each conference. Third down play here. Landrum again. When she gets to the 25, that will be enough for the first down. And we may have seen the last of Whitney Zealy. She's certainly my MVP. Get this, though. One division has 6 participants. That's how big it is. We talked about Seattle. They were in the Alliance Bowl. Their division has the Portland Fighting Phillies, the Portland Shockwave, the Everett Rain, Tacoma Trauma, and Utah Blitz. That's a lot of teams in one region.
A lot of football. Well, you can't beat that.
Fans, if you lost an iPhone in the bathroom, it's a locked cell phone, but it has a picture of a
And Stand Apart in the Boston are keeping the clock going and trying to call it a day. Take the chip home to the Militia fans.
Well, there's no need to needlessly extend the game here. It's Cahill looking for Smith. Etchie had her, and Smith dropped the pass. That will bring up second down.
Pass incomplete to Smith.
That was a good throw. Just try to catch it with her body instead of with
And
her
Smith
hand.
had nothing but turf ahead as she completed the pass.
AT&T service.
They could have put a 70 spot up. That would have been a lot of bragging rights. Well, a lot of bragging rights are already involved. They come out here and dominate the line of scrimmage. The offensive line has been superb. Zealy and Tim Folk.
Cahill under pressure, and will simply throw it away. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, like I said, Zealy and Tim, was it Tim Folk?
TM Folk.
TM Folk have both had a whale. I think TM Folk might even have 100 yards rushing. I'm not sure on the actual number, but they both.
She had that big passing play from Cahill, 49-yard touchdown pass. And then Zealy scored 4 touchdowns in a row. Two touchdown passes for Allison Cahill, 1 on the ground, and Whitney Zealy, I'd say, would be my MVP for this game.
Yeah, she played an unbelievable game. Showed a lot of people what she can do. I'm really speechless. I've never seen a performance put on like that in any kind of sport. Beating the Kobe's 70, beating the Chamberlain's 100. And they're still hitting. You could hear that hit from up here. That was a great hit by Martin, the Defensive Player of the Year.
Asia Landrum on the carry. That brings it to the 30-yard line. And Boston will send out the punting unit here. No need to pour on the score. A reminder, one more time, DVD copies, just go to WFAfootball.net and we'll provide information. Certainly a keepsake for the Boston Militia. Started strong, ended strong. Their running game had no substitutes today.
No, not at all. They completely muffled the...
And they will win the proverbial rubber match between two recent champions. Flag on the play. Delay of game, or it was against Boston. And a mishandled punt, not much of a return. And look at the Boston players still celebrating as if it were the first play, as Guidry had nowhere to go after muffing the punt.
You gotta love that camaraderie. They're hyped up about that tackle.
So San Diego takes over. 2:01 left, and thankfully there is no 2-minute warning anymore with the switch to college rules. But we have plenty of stories to take away from this game, and this was a wonderful demonstration of the running game that Boston possesses.
Yeah, they emphasized it from snap one.
At San Diego, they'll take a look at this, and for the players that return, and hopefully they'll get a lot of their players back. They have a strong core and a strong leader in Gallegos. It comes down to ball security. If they can hang on to the ball, this will be a different story. Martin makes the catch at midfield and bowls over a couple of Militia players and will be stopped at the 35-yard line.
47 Martin on the carry.
Yeah, San Diego can't hang their hats, man. They played a great game. They got their quarterback. She played and showed why this team is in this position. And you play for a championship. As bad it is to lose, you want to go out and play a good game. And I overall think they played a good game.
And it's tough to face a lopsided score. And there were some folks, one person was telling me that the DC Divas were the second best team in the league when you look at overall contributions. But what matters is who gets here, whether it's the second best team, third best team, and what you do at that championship game. And even if DC was the second best team, Boston did not get conceited about any of their opponents.
No, not at all.
And that's what you need to do to win.
And you just seen the coach got the Gatorade shower.
Oh, they're still not.
They chased down another one.
They still want to get him here as we're in the final minute.
You gotta love that.
I've got a feeling they'll get him with the other Gatorade can that's left, or the water can. They are not going to let him go without a dunk.
No, not at all. They got to show their love for their coach.
And you have to give credit to San Diego for getting here. And again, that 99-0 win over Arizona. I mean, it's no fluke. Their talent, like I said, if you can work on not fumbling the ball, it's not crazy to think that San Diego won't be back here soon in this championship stage.
Yeah, very much so. Only allowing 18 points all year. Was it 18?
18 in the regular season.
18 in the regular season. So that shows that they're for real and they're good competition.
Indeed. Well, our final play of the game. Gallegos is going deep. Why not?
Oh.
Pass is incomplete. A microcosm of San Diego's day. But it's the night that belongs to Boston. 3.5 hours after kickoff, they are the 2014 WFA National Champions. The final score is 69-34. What a season for the Militia, and what a comeback by Whitney Zealy.
Yeah, she comes back from the ankle injury and shows out in the playoffs. Could be the greatest postseason run singly by a player that you'll ever see in any kind of sport. Nearly 1,000 yards, 19 touchdowns. She played a whale of a game. I can't say any more about the kind of run that she had. The whole offensive line, the whole team played very well.
And quick note on San Diego, again, strong season for them. Got beaten badly here, but they have a lot to look forward to for 2015.
Very much so. You got a star quarterback. Don't hang your heads. You made it here. You made it in the title game. Just a couple turnovers. If that didn't happen,
the 3 turnovers were the difference in the game. Three turnovers led to 21 Boston points.
Yeah. If you didn't have those, we would have been right there. So just fix those mistakes, and I look forward to them having a very strong season next year.
So we'll have the championship presentation, and I will head down to the field for a post-game interview, which you can get on the DVD release of this game, and we might have it for you on the webcast too. But before we do that, one more reminder: you can order a DVD copy of this game by going to WFAfootball.net. They will provide you with the information. Thank you to Perfect Storm Broadcasting for their live web stream. You can catch their upcoming high school games in about a month as we cover high school football in the Twin Cities area. And this was a pleasure working with you, Andrew, for a football doubleheader, and I hope we can reconvene soon.
Very much so. It was a pleasure working with you, Mike. Be more thrilled with the weekend and the turnout of this game.
And thanks to all of you who responded on Twitter and on email. It was a huge response, and it was very encouraging and uplifting to see the community that came to this game, all the viewing parties. And it's going to be a party in Boston, and I'm sure it's going to be a fun after party for everybody at Sluggers in a short while. So I'm going to go down to the field. Hopefully we'll have the post-game interviews for you. If not, wait for the DVD release. We'll have that with our winning players, and we'll try to get a player or two from San Diego. Boston wins 69-34 for Andrew Ronenson and everyone here on our video crew. I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching. The championship presentation coming up shortly.
Lisa King will now present the most valuable player for the San Diego Surge. Number 23, Alexis Snyder. And for the Boston Militia, number 33, Whitney Zealy. The conference championship trophy presented to the San Diego Surge, owner Chris Carrillo. And to the 2014 WFA National Champion Boston Militia, Ernie Bach Championship Trophy. Congratulations, Boston Militia. Special thanks to Chicago for hosting this weekend of championship games. Thank you to all our volunteers.
A steamy Mike Peden is here. Took a little UV from the sun, but that's all right. We have Melissa Gallegos here with the San Diego Surge, and tough game today. The 3 turnovers really killed you. How did Boston force those turnovers on you?
You know, it was just dumb plays. I mean, our head wasn't in it, and we just got too far behind and just couldn't crawl right back.
How tough was it to defend Whitney Zealy, who had 6 rushing touchdowns today?
I mean, she was getting outside on us. We were arm tackling, and our arm tackles weren't cutting it. I mean, you got to wrap her up and take her down.
And Cahill didn't make things easier for you either. Just Boston had such a strong offense, and I'm guessing San Diego hasn't faced an opponent like that this season. So how do you handle that kind of adversity?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we tried to make some changes at halftime, and same thing. We came out and we were arm tackling, and, you know, we weren't running on all cylinders today, you know.
That being said, you had some fine plays of your own, 2 passing touchdowns. You hooked up with Peterson. What would you make of your offensive production today?
You know, I mean, we came out and we scored. I mean, we said we were going to score. We weren't going to depend on the defense. We had to come out and do our job. So, you know, we came out and we tried to do our job. And they had a couple of good plays on us, too, where they were able to stop us.
And how do you use this game to look ahead to 2015? Because we saw a lot of talent on the San Diego team, and you scored 99 points in a regular season game, just allowed 18 in the regular season. So there's a lot of optimism down in San Diego.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a great crew. I mean, if we have all these girls coming back next year, we're one step closer again. So, I mean, we're going to keep our heads up. We're going to keep working. We're going to work hard on the off season, and we'll be back here next year. I promise you that.
And anybody you want to say hi to that was watching this game today online or on broadcast?
All my family out at Campland back in San Diego. My son, I love you. Love you guys.
Well, congratulations, Melissa, on getting the American Conference Championship, and hopefully we'll see you back here in 2015.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Melissa Gallegos of the San Diego Surge will have the Boston players of the game in a moment. Mike Peden here with 2 very enthusiastic champions, Allison Cahill and Whitney Zealy. And I have to ask the obvious question, how does it feel to be champions again?
You know, again feels like not even the right word because it feels like so long ago. I mean, 2011, Whitney was a rookie. It was an entirely different team. And this year was something special. I wouldn't even categorize it with the previous 2. And I'm so proud. We have a lot of first-time champions here. I'm fortunate enough to be in the category you described, but it's unbelievable. I'm so proud of us. It's the best thing ever.
What are your thoughts, Whitney?
I'm proud. I'm just so proud. This team has fought for everything we've achieved, and I can't think of a group that deserves it more.
Is there some kind of a rivalry brewing here? Because you faced the same San Diego team 3 years ago. They won the championship after you won in 2011, so a bit of a history between these two clubs.
We're lucky to go through a really tough East Coast and have our own rivals there, and then, to come to a Super Bowl and face a really great opponent. It's best case scenario. I don't know, again, going back to 3 years ago, it's a different story now, so every year is different, and, we're just focused on whoever's in front of us.
What about you, Whitney?
Yeah, I would ditto that. It's really about winning a championship, regardless of who's on the other side of the bracket. We're going for the championship every year. That's our goal.
Talk about your comeback, Whitney. You had a broken ankle in week 1, and in the postseason, you had 20 rushing touchdowns, and if you didn't break it, you were very close to 1,000 rushing yards in 4 games. You could have replaced Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl, and we wouldn't know the difference.
That's an overstatement by far. My team is just amazing. They're so supportive. When I was down, they were so supportive, and every game they just made me more proud. And I owe it all to my team. It's just been a great, great special year, injury and all. I wouldn't ask for anything else.
Allison, your team was balanced between pass and the run, and when the postseason started, you shifted to a more of a run-heavy game, and you had 13 touchdowns in this postseason. So what led to the shift, and what made you so successful in the running game?
Whitney Zealy.
I suppose we're coming back, we'll do it.
Yeah, and also we face some really high-powered offenses, so we wanted to possess the ball and go to the running game and give our defense a rest and grind it out a little and just take our shots in the passing game when they were available. But you can't not give the ball to Whitney. She's the best player in the league, and she had fresh legs after taking a rest all season. So
everybody else was banged up. I did have the freshest legs, believe it or not.
What did you think of that shoulder that she put on Peterson? I mean, I don't think you intended for it to go the way it did, but we were impressed at that block.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how she plays. I think we feed off of each other, and, I think that's her way of showing the offensive line, what their blocks mean for her, and when it's her turn to block for someone else or to lower her shoulder, she's going to do it, and that's just how this team is. Everybody does whatever's asked of them and beyond.
Yeah, it's just fighting for that extra yard. Fighting for the extra yard, and I hope she's all right.
She was able to walk off, and we hope she's okay, too. And then the big difference, though, in this game, 3 turnovers that led to 3 touchdowns for you guys, and that was the big difference in this score. How were you able to get those opportunities early?
Our defense, they're so scrappy. Like, we don't have a lot of big girls. We don't have a lot of star players, but they gang tackle, they rally to the ball. And, one person gets there, the next person into the pile is trying to knock that ball out. And they came up huge today. We fed off of them, and they gave us great opportunities. So, it's playoff championship football.
What do you have to say about that defense, Whitney?
I love our defense. They're so inspiring. They fight and they play with pride, and it really gets our offense fired up. So the least we could do for them is score off of their turnovers.
So another season awaits you, but before then, what are your celebration plans tonight and when you return back to Boston?
We're pretty good at celebrating, and I think we have a room set up, and our owner is here, Ernie Bach. He's been incredible to us and giving us everything we need to just allow us to focus on football, and now we can just relax and enjoy all the hard work we put in and fly back tomorrow and they got us fireworks, it looks like, too, so no. So yeah, we'll be doing it right tonight.
Absolutely, with our friends and family here, our fans that have been so amazing all season long. They deserve a good party, so we're going to give it to them.
Anyone you want to say hi to that watched this broadcast? We had 1,200 viewers tonight, and last chance to say hi to somebody?
Yes, everybody in Uxbridge, Mass. watching, and also my BSC family. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support.
What about you, Whitney?
My work family, my family, and just all the fans that have been glued to live stream, keeping it loyal. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Video bomb behind you. Well, congratulations. Good to know you're a part of that Boston strong mentality. Another championship going back to the Northeast. Well-played game, and who knows, we might see you back here in 2015.
All right, that's the goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Allison Cahill and Whitney Zealy, thank you for watching our coverage of the WFA Championship Weekend. I'm Mike Peden. Until next year, so long, everybody.